We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
I did. Oh, wow. Right on the tip. Just on the tip.
And Blab. Co-hosted by our friends from around the internet.
There is a portion of Norway where it is legally required to carry a firearm at all times.
If you're just a normal man looking for common sense in this crazy-ass world, you've come to the right place. And now, broadcasting from our homes from around the internet, it's time for Side Scrollers.
Okay, you ready? Open wide!
Welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and SideScrollersPodcast.com. Happy Friday to you, everybody. It is Finish Strong Friday. Hi, I'm Stuttering Craig. Good to see you guys. Welcome on out, man. We got a lot to talk about today. It is going to be a busy, busy day as we have a blockbuster way to finish the week. Speaking of blockbusters, it's Blabs. Hello.
Hello. Hi. Happy Friday. I see what Alex is typing in the private chat. Anyway, hi, everybody. It's a struggle bus, but it's fine. It's Friday. We can do it.
Yes. Speaking of struggle bus and retardation,
and
it's Alex. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. I know you guys miss me.
Hey, it's going to be a great day when you're on, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Craig, can we talk about you edging just now?
Yes, absolutely. Let's talk about it a little bit more. I think it's important to preface exactly what we're talking about. Is today?
You saw me on cam.
Yep.
You couldn't contain yourself, and you just started edging immediately.
Well, it took about 30 seconds before Alex to come in.
That's all I need.
And bust that out. That's good. So I am using a new browser today. I've made the transition. I'm trying out between Chrome and Edge. I am transitioning, possibly Brave next week, but we're trying out Edge. And during the pre-show, we were talking about this, and Blab says, "Hey, you got to go try Edge." And Alex said, "Are you edging?" And Blabs goes, "Yeah, he's an edgelord." And then we quickly learned that Blabs doesn't know what edging is.
Should I know what edging means? Like you're edging towards the door? Like
edging is a combination of
no.
I would say
I would say let her figure it out for herself. So okay. Blabs, please go to Urban Dictionary and look to find out what edging is.
Sexual practice of holding off right at the point of ejaculation. To some people, edging makes the final climax much more intense. Why am I supposed to know this? All right, let's see. This can be for self-pleasant or with a partner. Person 1, I love edging to your videos. No. What are these things? Anyway.
It's almost like you can combine edging and gooning together, right? So you edge right to the point to where you don't nut, and then you just goon.
Okay, so Blabs, here's the thing. Alex is on today, and he's gonna go all the this is gonna be a lot. So we're gonna have to reel him in a little bit here as he goes off on his sexual journeys throughout our show. It's a common reoccurrence, but we'll do all right.
This is how I feel right now. There is an ad for a dog on the Urban Dictionary website, and that is my reaction. The side eye, like, what are you two up to?
The crazy part, Blabs, is when you finish edging and you bust, it's like a huge load. Like it's big. It's like almost twice the size sometimes. You ever heard of a guy called Peter North?
No.
You should look him up.
Peter North.
No.
No, professionally as Peter North is a Canadian retired pornographic actor, director, and producer. 2,155 credits. Holy shit. What a stud as an actor and 77 as a director. He's Canadian. Well done, sir.
Yeah. That was back in the day.
Let's see.
Well, it is Friday, and
right.
we do call it Alex Finish Strong Friday. And Peter North is known for finishing strong. I'll tell you what.
Mm-hmm. That's the plan when I'm here. Everybody finishes when I'm around.
Okay, sounds great. Well, look, we're glad you're here, Alex.
That's the end of the show. Bye now.
That's it. So, well, see you later.
See ya.
Oh boy. Okay, so we are live over at Rumble. We have the X account at Side Scroller Pod. Make sure you follow us over there. You could have found out that Alex was going to be on the show. We also have an Instagram account, don't we, Blacks?
We do, so you should follow us for amazing clips of the show. Otherwise, Alex is going to goon all over you.
Oh no.
Power
True
World.
and real.
Okay, sounds good and real. We also have a Kick account, and you can listen to the show over on Apple Podcast and Spotify. But the place we want you guys to go every single day for the maximum level of support is sidescrollerspodcast.com. That is a great place to support, including John Glatt, who was a brand new supporter over there. If you're thinking about becoming a member over on YouTube, that's cool. But where it really goes the extra mile is over at sidescrollerspodcast.com. We're continuing to grow over there a little bit. Our goal, one new member every day. If one of you heads over there, becomes a member, a supporter, that is a huge win for us. And to dangle the carrot a little bit further, hey, how about you get a free month of fun support by using the code TRIAL over at sidescrollerspodcast.com. Get a free month of fun and get exclusives like the exclusive interview I had with James Klug, who is a pretty awesome man on the street reporter, man. I'll tell you what, I am working on a banger of an exclusive for our supporters over at Side Scrollers Podcast. This is going to be more than just us giving you guys exclusives. We're getting exclusives from all over the place that are going to be there. So I can't wait to share that with you guys very, very soon. So with that said, if you are new to us over here on YouTube, though, hit the subscribe button. Join the 92,700 just normal men looking for common sense in the video game space. We are here ready to go. And let's get our rookie numbers up to 1,000 likes today. Right now, currently sitting at 257. If everybody hit the thumbs up button, that will show YouTube that, hey, I like this show. And you know what? It gets busted out like Alex does all across the internet. So there you go. And also, we have some brand new merchandise dropping today. We were going to wait until the start of the month, but here we go. I have 3 new items, and this is going to piss off a lot of people. We've got a bunch of brand new Patriot merch, including the Make Gaming Great Again hat.
God, you did it.
That's right. I did it because I saw everybody saying in the chat, I said, let's make that a damn piece of merchandise. We got all sorts of Patriot
Oh my
stuff.
God.
Yeah, baby.
I just want to let you guys to know I had no idea he was doing this. Thanks for not letting me know.
Yep.
Can I have one?
You did that. That's what you did. You did. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's right up front. But the big thing is the 2 shirts in the background. The hats are kind of a bit, but the shirts in the background are pretty awesome. So, but the hats are there.
The shirts are good.
Can I have a white one? A white shirt, a white hat?
Yeah, absolutely, Blabs. Awesome. You can have that. So if you guys want to go pick it up, show your support. And I know that's going to piss off so many people. So
I just want to point out that
you
Alex
might get
here
somebody. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Alex here is going to change one of the G's to gooning, make gooning great again.
There you go. Merchandise opportunity.
My viewers were sending me a bunch of shirts. They sent me a tank top, like a muscle tee, that was like, it's sick as fuck. Like I should go grab it and show you guys what it is. But it's like black with like purple, and I'll grab it in a second. But like, you're gonna get somebody punched by wearing that hat. You know that, right? Like somebody's gonna wear that hat and be like, oh, it's just video games, and they're just gonna get knocked out by some hipster.
No, let's be real.
You know, like walking down, and it's like, it's video games, bro. And it's like that's what's going to happen. You know that, right?
Let's be real. What's going to happen? Someone's going to be like, and they're going to shut their mouth because that's the reality of it, right? And if they do go up and they hit them, they're going to go, and then
you ever see that video of that dude with a flower in his ear, and then he was like talking to somebody on the street, and he does one of these, and then he kicks the shit out of some lady in the face. You ever see that one?
I think so vaguely. Yeah.
Go look that up. Look up hipster. Look up liberal hipster kicks phone. And it's this guy wearing like a purple. He's wearing like a purple sweater. He's got a flower in his ear. He like leans back, bites his tongue, sticks it out, and just like roundhouses this girl in the face.
Oh,
it's
man.
a classic. It's a fucking classic. You can't miss it. It was like when Shiwan had first started doing content on YouTube.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this right now.
It's an oldie but a goodie.
This is yes, it will piss off people, but I got to be honest, I don't care. I think it's funny because I don't really care. I love everything about it. With that said, we're glad to be hanging out with you guys today. We have a lot to talk about, including a scare at Walt Disney World. People thought there was a shootout yesterday, and we're going to get into that. There's a Vince McMahon documentary, which I am very excited for.
No shot.
Uh-oh, Alex is freaking out.
That's real?
Yeah, there's a Vince documentary that's coming out next month on Netflix.
Next month?
Yeah. We'll get into that in just a minute. We're going to be talking about Ubisoft's major, listen, when I say Ubisoft is in worse shape than you think it is, they're in horrendous shape. We have the numbers to back it up on the launch of Star Wars Outlaws Day, which is wonderful. Our old friend Darkside Phil is back at it again, and I received an email. We're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be digging into Bandai Namco's deep dive into DEI, and today is the day where Savvy, against all my best judgment, is coming on the show with Alex.
Good.
Savvy will be delivering her complete and full review of Dustborn. Quite possibly the only person on Earth who has beat Dustborn. She'll be providing her full review of the game coming up in about an hour from now. We also have Clown World, if we get to that as well. So look, we got a lot to talk about, but first, let's get into it, Blabs.
Well, I don't kind of want to. I feel like you're just going to shred it. But anyway, August 30th, we have Resident Evil Survivor releasing back in 2000, as well as the Spider-Man game releasing back in 2000. And then we have Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection releasing back in 2011. Go ahead, Craig. You already warned me. Off you go. Say whatever it is you need to say off your chest. You
Listen,
edgy.
These are really great picks today, Blabs, including Spider-Man and Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection. Great job today. Great job with that. With that said, some noticeable misses today in your list include Street Fighter 1 in the arcade in 1987.
Did anybody really remember that one, though? Because that was really a bad game.
It was not a good game, but I think it is noticeable for today in gaming history. Also, Keith Courage for the TurboGrafx 16, which was their early marquee game. That was in 1988. Super Tennis for the Super Nintendo. Also, Star Fox in 1993 was released. And there's just a few for everybody to go about in the chat. So just a couple that you missed. But hey, good effort today, Blabs. Good effort.
You're just sarcastic.
No, it was great. So, with that said, we're off to a great start. Hey, check it out. Super Cock MGGA 3000 picked up a MGGA hat.
Nice.
His name is Supercock?
Yeah, Super Cock.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Good for you, bro.
Why is it only when I'm on the show that this happens?
No,
Because you attract the degenerates and everything. So thank you.
This is every day, Alex. Every day.
It's
Listen,
worse when
Blabs,
Alex shows up.
My chat started calling Blabs.
No, Alex. We're not talking about it. Let's move on.
Alex, just me and you.
So you know the term back shots, Craig?
I'm sorry, what?
You know what the term back shots means, right?
I have a pretty good idea based off of what. Yes.
There were Blab showed up to my stream one week. There was like 700 people there.
Yeah.
And my chat started calling her Blab shots.
Oh boy.
Have a good show.
We got this. Look, we're zoomed in.
I don't know what you do to my viewers, but for some reason you show up and they become like the degeneracy escalates 1,000-fold.
I only just go in there and I'd be like Sony bonies and like that's it, and then like all of a sudden,
and then they're just like blab shots, and they just start typing plap 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 to make the sound effect.
Are you implying that the chat should start typing that out, Alex?
Absolutely
I
not.
am.
Don't. What are you talking about? Hey, also, Snake Master picked an MGGA hat up as well. Let's go. He says you need to play Metroid Dread, which I do. I can't wait for that. John says, love the new intro, especially the part when the kid gets blown up in the end. Yeah, that's from the greatness of UHF. It's the best. And Aiden says, I'm going to buy that hat. I don't care if I piss off certain people and if they try to punch me. Bring it on. I ain't afraid. That's right, Aiden. Don't be afraid to let people know that you need to make gaming great again. There you go. Also, Torgo says, where's the MGGA bucket hat, Craig? That will not happen.
Yeah. Bucket hat, please. Please.
Listen, Blabs, I'll give
you going on a
you.
safari?
Right.
Every time, no, listen, I put on this hat anytime I'm going on an adventure. So anytime Alex is on the show, it's kind of an adventure. So.
Okay, awesome. Absolutely. Reddy says Craig's going to slaughter the lolcow with quality content. Well, we'll get to that in a little bit.
Can I
Avi
get like
says,
an exclusive bucket hat with MGG again?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, you can. Yes, you can.
What
A
if?
one-on-one exclusive.
What if?
Yes,
we
Alex.
made a bucket hat for Craig that has DSP's face of the burst of May 1st, and then he has to wear it. And then he has to wear it when he goes to level 1.
Listen, we'll talk DSP in a little bit, but I've never heard
merch things with Alex. Come on, he's here. Let's talk. It's hard to schedule this bitch. Come on.
I've never heard the phrase "burst of May 1st" before, but I think that's brilliant. I love it.
I stole that from Review Tech USA, but he came up with that one.
Oh, no.
Let that be the only thing you steal from Rich over there. Javi
True.
came in and says, buying the new hat and put it next to my Make America Straight Again and Make Bitcoin Great Again hats. All right, nice. If you guys want to buy it as a bit, go ahead. That's cool. Thanks, Javi. Appreciate that. Last Toxic Veil says, yo, Craig, I used to be the Yellow Ranger, but extra dub knocked the yellow out of me. Now I'm the White Ranger. White Ranger power for the win, you dogs. All right, last Toxic Mail. Ghost Text came in and says, feeling kind of nervous about the future of Tom Clancy games. The way Ubi's current drama with Star Wars and their supported supposed cash cow Ass Creed is going. You have every right to be, and we're going to get into the actual numbers of that in a little bit. Vork came in with the 10 says, Craig, I missed yesterday's talk about retro games because of GameStop Retro. I just want to say I buy my retro games from E-Star Land. Yeah, I actually saw. Are you familiar with E-Star Land, Alex?
No, I have been doing what's called I don't know if you've experienced this. It's called a midlife crisis.
Yes,
I've been having one of those.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing really stupid shit with the little money that I do have. So like here, let me.
This is live. You're watching Alex live struggle through his midlife crisis as he shows the things he has now.
Dumb shit.
He's just like, I got dumb shit.
I bought this dumb shit.
All right. Well, hey, good for
I hope
you.
you have a PlayStation too.
I do.
Okay,
I
good.
bought one of those too. But wait, hold on. It's like not.
Oh, once again, this is live. Alex going through his
right,
midlife
there's
crisis.
more.
Here it is.
More dumb shit.
All right, there we are.
Okay.
Excellent.
And then there's.
Oh, section 3. He spent way more money than he thought he would.
There's more dumb shit.
Look at all that. That's a lot of dumb shit right there. Can you hold it all at one time to show everybody the dumb shit?
I hold a lot of big things in my hands all the time. It's fine.
There you go. Good. Excellent. Well, you do have a lot of dumb shit in your hand. Congratulations on your dumb shit.
I didn't know. Nice physical copy.
You should see the PS2 stuff. That's the PS1 stuff, actually.
I was gonna say like that's it right there.
I know. The PS1
All right.
stuff is even crazy.
Hey, give it up for Blue Blade. He picked up the MGGA hat. Let's go. He says, gonna get hate from my friends for this, but hell yeah, let's go. What, like, that's ridiculous. Alan came in and says, I actually got to play Street Fighter 1 arcade game when I was a kid at Hollywood Park in Inglewood, California, while my uncle was gambling on the horses. It sucked. Thanks, Alan. Sorry you grew up in a life of degeneracy, but I appreciate that. Nolkson came in with 5 over on Rumble, says you can't find a store link on Rumble. Well, we'll change that. We'll make sure we get that for you guys. Blabs,
It's in the chat.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, Blabs, thank you for everything. We'll get to every single super chat throughout the show. We will stop down for the big ones, obviously, and we'll get to everyone. And we'll if they just kind of pop in, we'll make sure they get acknowledged like that right there as we go along. And we may not mention them, but they will definitely be seen by anybody, and everybody can giggle at them. Thank you, Javi. Appreciate that. All right, let's get into it. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It is time for Hard News. Hard News. All right, man. I can't think of something that makes me harder than looking at a movie in a theater that I want to see in what? Don't give me that look, both you guys. Stop it.
Is he edging right now, do you think?
Blabs, you just learned what that meant, all right? Don't tell me.
He's got that.
He's like, you use those words against me.
He's got that second monitor prepped and ready. Boy, he's got like 12 tabs.
He's got Morgue Pie on his other stream, actually.
You know about Morgue Pie? Very nice.
I'm
Very
educated.
nice. Very nice. I'm more of an Alinity man myself.
Why are you all a bunch of thoughts? It's fine, whatever.
All right.
You think
Well,
Morgue Pie's okay? Come on, really? Her name's Morgue Pie. What do you think that's from?
Anyway, it's fine. Keep going. Go on.
Well, I'll tell you. Hey, by the way, speaking of support, I do think it's really important to know that we have our $50 support show, right? We have that. We have also added 2 additional rewards, if you will, which I think that it's very important that you know that through direct donations at $100 and $150, we have 2 new rewards. And by 2, I mean 2 new rewards. Just trust me on that. So I just want to give everybody a heads up on that.
6 for a certain amount.
That's true. That's true. Anyways, we'll get to that later on. Just wanted to let everybody know. With that
I
said,
had fun editing. Craig didn't do it. I just want to point that out.
Yes. This is always blabs. Always. With that said, I'd like to point out that we have an excellent thing happening. I've talked about movie theaters, and I think we've seen people talk about movie theaters, how they're dying, but I don't agree with that. I think there was a downslip during COVID, but I do think that they're coming back if you give people a reason to go back to the theaters. And this is a reason for me to go back to the theaters as the second of the greatest trilogy ever. Back to the Future is going back to the theaters.
Let's go. That is the best movie ever made.
Back to the Future 2, best movie ever made?
Back to the Future 1.
Yes, I agree. I agree. But Back to the Future 2 to me was right up there in that it showed you it was all about like what could be. And that's what I loved about the vision of the future and like when in the 80s and the 90s, it was always about this futuristic look, flying cars. But to see this coming back in the theaters for its 35th anniversary, I got to be honest, I am there. I'm 100% going to go do this. I've never seen this in theaters. And I don't know, this to me is like a perfect example to go back. I almost wish this would be longer than just a weekend special event. I think it'd be to re-release it. Where does number 2 rank in the Back to the Future trilogy for you?
It's right next to it. It's I consider Back to the Future 1 and 2 to be very similar to Terminator 1 and 2. T1, everybody loves T2. Everybody loves T2. But I feel
actually, Alex, I just like to point out really quick.
Go ahead.
Oh no, Blabs has got just between you and me. Blabs has never.
That was awful. I hate you now.
She's never seen Terminator?
She's never seen Terminator 1 or 2. And she's going to try to stop down the show now with memes because...
Shut up, bitch!
But this is a reoccurring theme where I just try to let everybody know she hasn't...
Why are you telling me this? What makes you think I have any interest in that at all?
I don't care.
She's seen no...
Right on, flopping dick and balls!
0 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. 0.
You're kidding. You're kidding.
Lie. That is a lie. Don't slander me like that. I have seen Jingle All the Way.
That's okay. I would
are racist.
No, Alex is not.
I would be okay with like you saying I saw Last Action Hero. Like that was a great Arnold movie. Like it was. But like think of it like this. Like when I came on the pre-show, you're like, hey, he's kind of weird all of a sudden. He's not like his normal energetic self. I just watched Blade Runner 2049 for the first time about 15 minutes before I came on the show. And I was trying to like process everything that happened in that movie because that's one of the best films ever made of all time. Like that movie is if you love the first Blade Runner, 2049 is it's unfucking believable what that movie did. Like to make a sequel to Blade Runner was wild, but I think Back to the Future 1 and 2 are the best. Just like T1 and T2 are the best.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything after. Like Back to the Future 3 is all right. It's not that great.
Yeah,
but it's all right.
It finished the story and it was fine. But yeah, Anyways, we'll move past the Arnold talk.
Vote for me is a vote for boobs.
Yes.
True.
But if I was to rank them, I think they're ranked exactly in the order that they were released: 1 and then 2 and then 3. But this is big. I love everything about this. I will 100% be buying tickets to go see it. It's released October 19th and the 21st, so they're skipping the 20th right there. So it's the 19th, and then they're going to skip a Sunday. So it's a Saturday night event and a Monday event. and they're skipping Sunday for some reason. So kind of an odd thing right there to do. But either way, I'm very excited to see this. I've never seen it in theaters, and that excites me immensely. So yeah, there you go. We've had this story on our run sheet for a week, and Blabs is very, very excited to talk about this. Apparently, if you are in Iceland, Blabs, is this right?
Yeah, I believe it was Iceland.
Apparently, there was a giant scarcity of cucumbers or something. Blabs, please guide us through this story.
Well,
I
Alex
don't know.
bought them all for experimental purposes, but that's about it, really. No,
There's no
there
experiment going on. Just a lot of gaping.
Anyway, I think he's edging to cucumbers. It's fine. All right, so this dude, who I have no idea because I'm not on TikTok like a normal human being, but apparently because of some viral trend going on, there was a scarcity of cucumbers in Iceland, which is amazing.
What is the trend?
If you
what's
click
the trend?
it, you can see it.
Oh, you want to actually click a link? Okay.
It's there though. What are you gonna do?
All right. So there's a trend, and this is important to know because this is what we're talking about here. This TikTok trend.
It's like a
Use
recipe.
whole cucumber.
Okay.
It's a recipe,
Okay.
and apparently everyone went out and tried it, and then there was a shortage of cucumbers from the viral video.
So he made a recipe.
Or at least, I don't know if he made a recipe, but like
Or he showed a recipe.
Yeah.
Okay. Icelandic
Maybe
news.
Like
yeah, go ahead. Well, I was saying.
I was gonna say.
You're the guest.
No, you go first. Because I'm not doing this. We're not doing the stop. Like, we're not doing the thing where we're both at a stop sign in both cars and we're like, come on.
Icelandic news spoke to.
And then we both stop and do one of these, and then I start doing one of these.
Hey! Just go. So the Icelandic news spoke with Cronin, one of the biggest biggest grocery store chains. They said they had a 200% increase in people looking for cucumbers after this trend. And that is why we haven't talked about this story all week. So
The end.
There you go. Thanks, Blabs, for that.
I'm really helpful with the cucumbers. You're welcome.
That's why we avoided that story all week.
Yep. Well, we saved it for Alex because he's probably going to go and buy cucumbers after this.
You know what the
If he
best
doesn't
thing-
have that in
I don't
his
need
fridge.
to. I'm set.
He's got like 20 in the fridge, actually.
So funny story about Iceland and why I brought this up. Why I was going to bring this up is because why they might have run out of cucumbers is because Iceland is a very small population. In fact, their population is so small, everybody's basically related, and you have to like check yourself on a website before you bang somebody to make sure you're not actually related for incest.
How do you know this? Just curiosity.
I've never been to Iceland, but like it's just an interesting fact. You never heard about that?
No, that's what I'm asking. Like, how do you know that?
I've been to Iceland.
I listen to other podcasts besides video games.
Fascinating.
Alex is
Okay, you know what,
cultured.
Blabs? Did you know that the Norwegian Navy puts barcodes on the sides of their ships?
So, like, TikTokers can scan them or something?
No, so they can Scandinavian.
Oh, boy.
You're so dumb.
What? What is that? All right. Hey, let me tell you the best thing about that story. It was the meme that was posted underneath it, which, Alex, I think you'll get great appreciation for this. Blaz, I don't know if you'll see this or not. I wonder what fabulous dish I'll be a part of.
Oh, no.
The question is, which one is it inside?
Hey, let's talk about this next thing, please. Anybody but what we're doing right now. We'll go to IGN for this one, as I saw this yesterday, and I am fascinated by this. And judging by your response to this, Alex, I think you are going to be too. As Netflix has announced a Vince McMahon docu-series about
That's
the
insane.
WWE founder's legacy. But here's the thing about this, okay? They started filming this before he was away, before he got pushed out of WWE, and it actually includes Vince McMahon in it. So WWE has announced, Netflix has announced a new documentary series chronicling the rise and fall of Vince McMahon. It's a 6-episode series aptly titled Mr. McMahon, and it's coming to the service September 25th. It intends to, quote, pull back the curtain to reveal the true Vince McMahon, obscured beneath the persona he presented to the world. Yeesh! And look at this poster.
I don't know if people don't realize this. That wasn't a persona. That's who he is.
Oh yeah, he's
Like
egomaniac.
the person in the ring is exactly who he is.
Yeah, everything else is fake.
There were two scenarios where everybody was like, is this real, or like what, like, oh, what a work. One of them was when Shane McMahon came back to the WWE, I think pretty recently, and he was talking about what he had in a box that Vince needed. And
I don't know
that
this.
and oh, dude, there's a like don't play it on stream because you're gonna get taken down.
Yeah.
Because WWE will stop it. But there was a whole skit, like a whole, not like more like a whole thing where they were doing it together, and then Vince like grabbed Shane. He was like, "You fucking give me whatever the fuck's." Like it was like, and like when you start looking back at like Vince taking a dump on that girl's chest, making her try to fuck Brock Lesnar wanting to see her take a piss, like all this shit, and you're like, did Shane McMahon actually have something on his fucking dad? Like, he probably did. Like well, Vince was also the guy who like, when he was in his 20s, go out and box Marines for fun.
He definitely seems like I mean, to be that successful, that crazy, that much of a risk taker, you have to be kind of a crazy personality. Yeah, for sure. But it says the documentary is culled of over 200 hours of interview footage with McMahon himself. 200 hours with him. Before he resigned from WWE, his family members, business associates, and some of the most iconic names in wrestling history, as well as the journalist who uncovered the explosive allegations McMahon found himself at the center of. So they're talking to the
that is going to be that doc is going to be numbers. That is going to do numbers.
Yeah, I agree. You know what's interesting about this is that you wonder, WWE signed a big deal with Raw to go to Netflix in 2024. And I mean, they have an existing business relationship. So you can't anticipate this is going to be that damning, right? I mean, if they have an existing, but
Vince isn't part of the company anymore. It doesn't matter.
That's true.
He's gone. Like this is exactly what they want. Like this is the best play for them to do right now, because getting Vince out after they got bought by the UFC. And so Vince is out. Trips is running it. When I say Trips, Triple H. And then you have WWE going to Netflix for Raw. So they're going to be TVMA now, like they were back when we were kids and teenagers. So you've got Vince with that huge thing, and then people who don't watch wrestling are going to be like, this shit's insane. Let me tune into Raw and see how insane it is, with The Rock saying like, fuck shit, and like, go smoke some more crack. And then like beating the shit out of people. Like they're gonna do numbers across the board. They're gonna do numbers with this.
You know, I do think you're right in that this allows them to distance themselves from the
TV14.
previous.
I'm sorry, Chad Swiss. You're right.
Right. But it says so. Chris Smith is the guy who's doing it, who was the executive producer of the Tiger King series. Did you watch Tiger King back in the day when that was all viral and huge?
No, I didn't.
It was fun. It was a fun watch. But it says is in the director's chair for Mr. McMahon, while also executive producing is Bill Simmons. Do you know Bill Simmons?
That name rings a bell.
So Bill Simmons started McMahon back in the day with ESPN.
Yes.
And he's also a big wrestling guy. So it says over the 4 years of production, the story evolved into truly shocking ways, culminating in some extremely harrowing allegations. The final product is a revealing documentary that we believe offers a rich and nuanced portrait of the man and the complex legacy he left behind. I mean, wow. It includes interviews with Hulk Hogan, Dwayne Johnson, Dwayne Johnson, Steve Austin, John Cena, Bret Hart, and more. I mean, wow.
I wonder if Kevin Dunn is going to be there.
Man, that's a good question.
Because Kevin Dunn ruined so much of that program.
Yeah. That is
because of Kevin Dunn, we didn't get any good cinematography whatsoever compared to what we have now with Triple H.
They have upped the production of it for sure. But that's coming up next month, man. We are less than a month away from this, and I am all for this. You wonder if it's going to be like, surely it's got to be, if it's a 6-part series, what, hour long?
So 6 hours probably. I've been watching Dark Side of the Ring, which is really good.
What a great series. Great
That's
series.
a great show.
Yeah, that's
Have you seen
the
that,
best
Blabs?
thing.
You should, honestly, if you don't watch wrestling, watch Dark Side of the Ring, because you'll be able to like get like a glimpse of like all the stuff that was going on in the back end, and it'll probably pique an interest of you watching wrestling.
Yeah,
Where is
Because
it
the best
found?
part about it
Netflix?
is
you can find
no
it.
Vice.
Yeah, you can find it on YouTube. You can find some episodes on
Yeah.
YouTube. Dark Side of the Ring.
The Chris Benoit one is a 2-part series, which is fucking sad. It's horrendous.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. I'm telling you all, like, eventually we will launch a wrestling channel. There will be a wrestling channel that with side scrollers in time. But anyways, okay, let's go and move on to our next. But first, let's get to a couple of these. Absolutely Ready says Vince lived like a Titan and felt like one too. Yep. Mercenary says Kevin, I bet Razorfist has words about all that. Yeah, Razor knows a lot of folks in the wrestling game, including I know Vince Russo, I believe, as well.
Vince, fuck, I'm more of a Jim Cornette man myself.
They're both funny. They're both ridiculous and over the top. Magnum North says season 2 of Rings of Power is gay. Thank you very much. Jacob came in and says Shane Max is going to AEW. That's the rumor.
That's the rumor. They I heard him and Tony Khan were in a meeting.
Yeah. Norm says the Doc will be like Batman taking off his mask only to reveal he's wearing another mask. And like this, Ava came in and says the date in the future of Back to the Future 2 was October 25th, 2015. That's right.
I remember that. I remember the day, like in 2015, we're all like, well, we failed. We don't have what they were supposed to have.
Yep. And on top of that, we
suck.
I actually have the newspaper from that day because USA Today released the
Why
exact
you
newspaper. It was great. All right.
It's like the little shit you say out of nowhere.
It's great.
You're welcome.
That's what makes Blab so great. By the way, Drago or Drago picked up.
Chat said Bobby the Brain is the best. Yeah, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Bobby the Brain. Hey, we have Jim, Jonathan, Cajun Corey, Kuma, Nulkson, and Drago all picked up the MGGA hat, brand new hat, as well as a full line of merchandise available right now. Go pick it up right now. I made it as a meme and people are all about it. Let's go. The Make Gaming Great Again hat. Thank you guys for picking up the shirt. Love that. That's awesome. Drago says we'll be pissing off the libtard gamers with my demon. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Drago. Appreciate that. All right, let's go and move on. Yesterday there was a big alert at Walt Disney World. There was panic. I don't know if you guys saw this on X, but it was chaos erupting where people were scrambling all over the place. They were going in corners because there was reports of an active shooter at Walt Disney World. Now, Alex, you're in Florida. Disney World is a big driver for the economy there. I never heard it.
Baby.
What's that?
That's a regular day in Florida.
Looking out for active shooters.
It's just a regular day.
But it found this. The Orange County Sheriff's Office came out and said there was no active shooter at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. A fight occurred and a popping sound was heard that we believed was a balloon popping. And then guests began running, and that's how the active shooter rumor started. There is
a vastly different sound between a balloon popping and gunfire.
I agree. And those who've been around both. What's that?
They're not even
That's
close.
so sad.
Yeah.
I think what probably would have happened was that the people who are so stupid enough to think that it was a gunshot caused all this ruckus, right? And then the people who weren't even in the area were like, "Holy shit, everyone's running!
People
Let me
are
get out of
running.
here."
Yep. It's like remember back in like 2020 when everybody's like, buy the toilet paper, and it's like
right.
the same process, the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it probably was just something stupid. And how do you get into a fight at Disney?
That's
of all
what I'm
things?
saying.
Dude, listen, people are crazy.
You ate my pretzel.
Like, you got to be like, that is like the one place you're not supposed to get into a fight, because if you're there with your kids and you're going to act that way, like a freaking like a lunatic in front of your kids,
in front of other kids,
you got to have a screw loose. Yeah, you got to have a screw loose.
Well, this is what it looked like. I mean, you could see people were scrambling. This is inside of a store off Main Street, which is one of the big stores there. People are all over the place. There's shit on the ground. You've never seen the Disney, never seen Magic Kingdom like this.
Never.
Probably never will again. But this is, people are freaking out. People in the corners. And then they kind of realize that nothing really happened. This
Y'all ran for a balloon.
Yo!
Wow.
So, dude got in a fight, huh? Looks like he lost. Just throwing it out there. So,
Wow.
that's what happened at Walt
Disney
Disney World.
adults, y'all. Yeah, you know what? You're not wrong. Some of them are
Dude.
insane.
Right.
Dude, holy. That dude got sliced.
Yeah.
And you can see people kind of outside trying to leave, mass chaos. And this is what happens, so anyways, no shooter at Disney World, which by the way, like the security at Disney is
They
stupid.
got metal detectors. Like
it's ridiculous. You used to be able to boop, 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 walk right in, but no. Now it is all over
they
the
check
place.
every bag. They go through everything. Sometimes you pull all your shit out of your bag.
Yep.
Right.
It's like almost like an airport.
Well,
so it's like you're not gonna have a gun there. You don't have like ceramic guns like in X-Men to fight Magneto. Like, what are we doing here?
Yep.
You gotta wonder if it even has like some sort of evacuation plan, right?
Oh yes,
Like,
they absolutely do.
There's a whole
I
city
mean,
under
they
that
have
place.
to, but like obviously no one was really following like emergency procedures. They just ran for it.
Right. No, but that's what happens is people get freaked out. They start running all over the place. One person goes, "It's a gun," and everyone goes, "Whoa!" and they freak out, right?
And
I mean, to be fair though, if someone starts screaming, "It's a gun," you want to get out of there, right? So it's like you can't really blame them. At the same time, oh my god, a balloon.
Yes, yeah, like it was a balloon popping, but that guy got fucked up in a major way.
Got rocked, bro. I need to see the other guy. I want to see the other guy.
He's over here looking like a Chad. He's walking out like this over here, just walking
was
through
gonna
magic.
pull him up too. I was looking for him.
Yo, when you get cut in your head and you're in a fight, like a little cut, you're just gonna bleed everywhere, right? But like that much, that dude was probably getting rocked.
Yeah, I mean, he looked pretty messed up.
You ever watch a fight and you hear somebody get punched in the face and it sounds like a firecracker?
I've ever seen somebody punch in the face and it sounds like a firecracker.
Yeah,
no.
You ever see somebody get hit so hard it sounds like a loud pop every time they get hit?
I've heard
probably what it sounded like.
I've heard leg kicks. I've never heard a punch to the face. I've heard a leg kick that sounds like a firecracker.
I've heard of like this dude. I used to do like martial arts back in the day, and this dude that used to fucking do that shit, he would fucking rock people, and you would hear like it would sound like a firecracker going off every time he hit you in the face because he hit you that fast. He probably got hit like that.
Well, you know who didn't get hit by bullets? Everybody at the Magic Kingdom. So, all right, let's go and move on. Talk a little Ubisoft here. This is crazy. Okay, so today is the release date of Star Wars Outlaws. I put this tweet out yesterday. I have an insider who works for a major big box retailer, and the long and short of it is they have a very low amount of pre-orders for Star Wars Outlaws. There's also an extremely low amount of pre-orders for the new Assassin's Creed that's coming out. So I don't think there's a whole lot of buzz for this game, and I know that Ubisoft has put a lot of money in marketing this game. But there's also just like most games, there is a Reddit account or subreddit for this that you can go in and go talk about the game in a forum. But apparently the Star Wars Outlaw subreddit is straight up banning people who are being critical of the game. And let's go over to that Park Place for this story. This is just balls crazy. It says the Star Wars Outlaw subreddit is reportedly banning individuals for criticizing Ubisoft's latest game. Reddit user Ugly Coyote reached out to that Park Place and informed us Reddit Star Wars Outlaws is banning and silencing people who are critics of the game during early access, also deleting posts. Found myself victim of this myself after I got reports from other people saying they were banned. He then speculated this looks like damage control before the game officially launches this week. He shared some screenshots indicating he was banned from the subreddit and informed that Park Place he was not given a reason to why he was banned. He said, I asked them why no reply. Then I asked for the moderator's name who banned me and was muted for 7 days. And you can see kind of like what he said here. It was nothing really critical of the game, since there was a lot of posts deleted on Star Wars Outlaws Reddit, and me and my friends replied to those posts, also voicing criticisms about graphics, performance, and so on. So my friend then posted about censoring posts and was banned for posting non-related topic comments for, I think, 3 days or so. In that deleted post, many people said their friends also got banned. I got banned when I questioned the age of a user and his beliefs by stating that he blindly believes propaganda and described the critical parts of the game like performance, hardware needs, uglification of the main character, and so on. Also, I said he should be aware of false media hype like IGN. So that's kind of where we're at right now, as you have these Reddit subreddits going in and going to bat for these companies. Alex, I would love to hear your thoughts on this.
Typical Reddit behavior. Typical Redditor, r/anti-work. I'm a dog walker. I have, kind of thing. Communism is good. Typical Reddit ass behavior. That's literally what it is. Like, just I don't know if people even use Reddit anymore. How that website's still active is a shocker to me.
Right.
But that's that's what's expected. If you don't, like, even me who goes in the Path of Exile subreddit, right, to like see whatever drama's going on with that game, like there are people just doing the dumbest shit possible there and getting banned for the dumbest shit and the mods just going absolutely apeshit for dumb shit. I expect it. I mean, I heard IGN gave Concord a 7.
Yeah, they did.
So I mean, every game is a 7 nowadays anyways. Who gives a shit? Like,
and that's the one thing.
Star Wars game's gonna bomb anyways.
I think it's not going to perform like they hope it performs. So with that said, that's part 1 of this. Okay, so we got Star Wars.
There's part 2.
Oh, there's multiple parts to this. We're diving deep into Ubisoft. Alex, did you play XDefiant at all? Ubisoft's other.
No.
Okay, so
Blabs, no, I'm not a peasant. I play Counter-Strike like a man.
Blabs, you were very high on this game. You were like, this could be a big game.
I never said that. I just said it could be an alternative and it could be fun to play. And I don't think, just absolutely shitting on, a whole company when a game might actually be decent, give it a try. And I enjoyed it, but I haven't played it in like a good month or 2.
Okay. Well, you're not alone, as Ubisoft's, this is a rumor, but Ubisoft's XDefiant is seeing continuously declining player numbers and a lack of player spending, which when your game is free, that's very hard to make money there. So Ubisoft, this was another big initiative for Ubisoft this year. And some people have said this game is like really, really good. It is a good alternative, but with Call of Duty 6 coming out or Black Ops 6 coming out, people are going to be into that. That's kind of the normie game. But it says the game has been struggling to obtain 20,000 concurrent players across all platforms. Another source shared that Ubisoft would probably be happy with that number. But this suggests that the current player number counts is much lower than 20,000 as they're getting ready to go into season 3. But they've continuously dropped over and over and over again since the launch. So
makes sense.
Yeah, right. And that does make sense, and that's really why seasons take place in these games as a service games, right? Where you have the idea is you want to peak interest every 90 days to drive up through each season or whatever. You see Apex has done this continuously since its launch, 4 or 5 years ago, Apex Legends. And they're still around. On this article, it actually mentions Apex Legends has close to 50,000 people still playing it. So, Apex is still around doing its thing. So we have Star Wars Outlaws. Now we have XDefiant, which is losing things rapidly. We talked about the lack of interest with Assassin's Creed Shadows that's coming out here in the next couple months. And these are some big bombs when it comes to Ubisoft. I mean, obviously, we're going to see where things go with Star Wars Outlaws, right? We're going to see where things go with Assassin's Creed Shadows. But the arrow is pointing down with Ubisoft. And I think most people recognize this. Do you have a favorite Ubisoft franchise, Alex?
No. But don't forget Skull and Bones.
Correct. Yes, you are correct. Yeah, and that's the other one, the quadruple A Skull and Bones, which was released. So you're looking at.
Wasn't the rumor though that Star Wars Outlaws was actually supposed to be Beyond Good and Evil 2? Wasn't that? I don't know.
I haven't heard that. I didn't hear that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was floating around that Star Wars Outlaws was actually supposed to be Beyond Good and Evil 2, and that's why it kind of looks so haggled together.
Wow.
There's a whole Reddit thread from over a year ago about it.
Huh?
Because it it all starts to fit. Like when you start looking at it in that case, like it just starts like
Yeah, they says Star Wars Outlaws is a reskinned version of Beyond Good and Evil 2. And there's like a shit ton of people on this Reddit thread. Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is
Well, you know.
Titus is Alex Rayman. Yeah, no, I have the Tism. It's legit. Like there was a point in my time where I had somebody in my chat who showed up into my chat one time, and I remember the comment they made 6 months ago, and I pulled up their comment live on stream where they said they were never going to come to my channel again. And I was like, so why are you here 6 months later on my channel when you said you were never going to be here again? And then they left, and then they came back when I saw them come back, because you can look at the participants in YouTube chat. And then I pulled up their chat logs and saw that they were always there.
Let's go.
So when Blab says I have the Tism, it's legitimately there. Like it is there.
Oh, I love it.
But the whole seasonality thing with XDefiant, especially, right, and like Apex Legends, if you look up Path of Exile, which is like the game it's gonna be my most played game of all time. CS:GO is at like 1,200 hours for me. PoE 1 is at like almost 900 to 1,000 hours. PoE does a season every 3 months. They do an expansion every 3 months is what they do. But every 3 months, the game completely changes from what it was originally. Like this new season, it's a city builder mechanic inside of an action role-playing game. So what you're doing is you're collecting different items. You're building your city. You're getting items. You're going back and forth. The season before that, it was about like an Acropolis League where you would go ahead and like find items and then merge them together and things like that. So like they completely changed the game every single 3 months. And if XDefiant is not doing anything to like truly make the game vastly different for people to continually come back to play that game through seasons, then seasons are just irrelevant, honestly.
You know, that brings up a really good conversation we can have another time about if you think that each season should be restored just from a game preservation standpoint. Like if a game has 10 seasons, should each season be able to be accessed just from a preservation standpoint? You know what I mean? I think that's a really interesting conversation.
PoE does that. PoE does that. What they do is they'll take specific mechanics from seasons and apply them to the core game, so that way they're in that aspect continuously. But I think it all depends how it'll balance the game directly, and if it'll impact like power creep and things like that. Like it's more nuanced than just like, can we access it? I know that there was that conversation with with Thor, and he did the Half-Life videos. About game preservation. Jack, can you help me?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know the video you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, you mean Cursed Farms?
Cursed Farms. Yep. Yeah. I know there was some conversation, like some discourse between Ross. Thank you, chat. And so I think it all depends on the game. Like my biggest gripe about Path of Exile is that there's no offline mode.
Well, there's
like,
going to be
my biggest like problem with them.
Right. Well, there's definitely, I mean, every game's going to have its ups and downs. There's no perfect game. There's games that are perfect for you, but they're not perfect for everybody, right? But Ubisoft has seen a lot of ups and downs when it comes to, their games and their success as a company. And we talk about where they're struggling, with the release of Star Wars Outlaws, Assassin's Creed, and, obviously the quadruple A games, Skull and Bones, XDefiant. These are 4 major releases in a year. And I think the best way to judge a company and where they're at is by looking at the public perception and the public investment into their company, specifically through the stock market. Now, Ubisoft you can buy stock in Ubisoft, and I think it's important to look at Ubisoft stock. Now, this is them in the last month, okay? Now, they're down, and this looks like a dramatic decrease, and it is. They're down a little bit, but when you go from like $18, $19 down to 17, that's a pretty good drop, but it's not like game changing. Let's go back 3 more months. That's more telling right here, based off of the excitement level behind this, right? You can see it's a constant look down. Hey, let's go back 6 months. Okay. You can see they were still up at $21. Now they're back down to 17. Hey, let's go back 5 years and see where they're at. They were up in 2021, and now this is obviously during COVID. Video games are paramount at this time. They're up at $84, Alex. And since that time, they've gone from $84 down to $17, $18, $19. Okay.
Holy shit.
The valuation of their, yes, holy shit is right. the valuation of their company has dropped. What? It's down 25% of what it was just 4 years ago. That tells you a lot about things. But hey, let's go back even further. Let's look at the Macs when they started selling. Look where they're at right now. Okay. This is in 2024 right now, today. If you were to go back to when they launched in the year 2000, almost a quarter century ago, right? This is when they're going as a company, they're growing, they're figuring things out. This is early on, right? You could have bought stock. You could have bought stock in 2015. And you would not have made any money. Actually, you would have lost money based off inflation at this point. So that's something to keep in mind. When it comes to the dollar is weaker than it was back in 2000. So I would actually say that they are in a worse spot than they possibly have ever been as a public company since the launch of
pull up 2000 show 2007.
Sure. 2007 is right here. And you can see
Assassin's Creed 1.
So they had a split right here and it popped off. Then they had another split, went up a little bit, then it dropped off again. But yes, and I'm glad you bring that up, right? The idea of what games were being released at this time, right? What games were coming out, and they have on their website, a history of their projects that they've used along that they've released throughout the days. And this is just their internal studios, but you look at some of these games, Prince of Persia Classic, this is 2007, Ghost Recon, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. And specifically here, the Assassin's Creed series really takes off even further. And you see that there's like a direct correlation between that and the growth of it, and obviously COVID and stuff. But this is, I think this is very, very telling, very, very telling about where Ubisoft is. And people are not talking about this enough. When it comes to the company as a whole, I think they're in trouble.
Bought by Vivendi?
I think that they will either. I think there's a distinct possibility that they end up either getting acquired as a whole entity by a Microsoft or like that, or Sony, or they end up selling off their IPs. Like I mentioned this before, but I think Rayman would be a great franchise for Nintendo to go in and buy. It's family friendly. It's ready to go.
I would bet that they would sell off their IPs before selling off wholesale.
I agree.
That's my bet. They would probably pull an Embracer.
Yeah.
Like
Dungeon
Embracer
says,
did.
does anyone remember when the Ubisoft CEO wanted Microsoft or Sony to purchase them?
I remember Dungeon, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Benjamin says, bro, that's actually sad. What the hell happened behind the scenes? What are they doing at the studio? One of the last few games I was looking forward to. There you go.
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yeah. And Demi came in and says the founders of Reddit are known PDF files, and we're all hanging around the cheese pizza subreddits, which are awful mods.
Stop! No, don't bring up Pizzagate. No.
All right. So, anyways, I think it's just important to like really let you know where Ubisoft is at as a company with 4 potential not wins. They were looking at 4 wins this year with these 4 games, and they're not in a good spot right now. So
I think what's happening with them is what's happening with gaming as a whole. They've lost a lot of like what made them great, or their vision in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like there's no good new ideas anymore in gaming, is what it feels like. It may not be the case, right? Because there are some standout games like Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate and like the new Doom coming out. Like there are great ideas in gaming, but like if you look at like the stack of PS2 games that I showed earlier, those are all vastly different games from one console within like 4 to 5 years. You don't have that now. Now you've got the same, like Concord is a game that is 8 years too late.
Right.
Just flat out.
Yeah.
Just flat out. And everybody's just spending too much money on games. And so I think now what you're seeing is this big resurgence in either people going back to PS1, PS2, or N64, or just going into the AA indie space, which is I think is what's happening here.
I agree. I think you're about to see a giant, just huge success. Yeah, when it comes to AA and indie titles, for sure. I think what's the old saying? Is it hard times create soft men, right? And then soft men create hard times, whatever it is, But the point being that I think we're going to see some real originality come out in the next 5 years from games. And I think because people are seeing what's happening in AAA and quadruple A games, and it's going to push creativity for sure. So
I think the East is going to make a bigger comeback.
Oh yeah. That's
what I think.
Yeah, I
if
hear
you look
that.
at the first Ascendant, right? Like once you're done unloading, you can then play the game, and it's like a fucking. It's not a bad game. The monetization is some pretty shit, but it's not a bad game itself, from what people have been saying online and things like that. And if you look at things like Stellar Blade and stuff like that, like just that style of like action and like good combat and focus on gameplay with that whole thing. Remember when Prince of Persia 2 on the PS2 was out and you had that girl in the intro with her fat ass hanging out?
Yeah.
Was it The Warrior Within?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot which one. It's the one where it's the one on the cover where he looks like real mean and shit. He's got this fucking this shit like that, and the girl's on, and she's out there, and she's got like her fucking just giant ass on the thing. And then they had like chat says Warrior Within. See, Tism. And then they actually had a cosplay contest, and somebody did that actual cosplay of that girl, and everybody was like with their cameras out like that. Like that is like, I hate, don't shoot the messenger, but the thing is, sex sells, and guess what?
Yeah.
Women like hot women too.
Yes. And our next guest coming in just a second will definitely tell us more about that. So. But before we get to Savvy here in just a second, Jason came in and says, at least Ubisoft got to spread the message to the modern audience. Can you really put a dollar amount on that? Thanks, Jason. Appreciate you. Once again, we see all your super chats, all your direct donations, all your Rumble rents. We'll get to all those in just a minute. First, I want to let you know that Mercenary, Hobby, and Zero Sum all picked up. Well, no, let's see. Hobby and Mercenary picked up the MGGA hat. And Zero Sum picked up the Effin' America shirt. Let's go. Go pick it up. Get some merchandise right there. It's a meme, but hey, we're doing it. Let's go. We're on it. Thank you guys very much for your support. All right. Look, we've talked about this game a lot over the last week or so. Probably more than any podcast should probably talk about this game. But there's one person in the world, not like that is the epitome of qualification when speaking about Dustborn. And she is joining us now. Ladies and gentlemen, Madam Savvy.
This is not a title that I ever asked for, but I'm happy to have it.
There she is.
Savvy, I believe you know
duo
well,
is back,
Alex.
chat.
Savvy.
All right, guys, you can leave now. The podcast is ours. Let's go.
Let's discuss true culture.
Yes. Did you actually fucking play this game?
I did. I played the game and I beat it.
There's no...
I dedicated 15.6 hours of my life to understanding this game, so that way when I do talk about it and criticize it, I have all of the qualifications and cannot be questioned.
Did you find out who wrote the lyrics to the song of the Dustborn?
So yeah, it's actually on the end screen. It's somebody with a K in their name. I wasn't paying too much attention, but apparently some people actually knew the name and they were surprised that this individual even did this.
That had to be one of the worst. How do you rhyme newborn and porn?
And then so they started the chorus off with "We're the Dustborn," and then they used the newborn, and then they used porn, and then they used airborne. Like they kept they came back to born because they couldn't come up with any other words.
Anything else?
And I don't understand how. Like, forlorn is such a cool word. Mourn, that would have been great, like mourning the loss of your comrades to show that you have been oppressed. But no, they don't do that. They talk about replacement theory and that they're infants that are the new porn.
That game honestly feels like somebody from high school became a game developer and they never left high school or Tumblr.
Yeah. What's funny, though, is that Tumblr won't even touch this, as you can tell by the player count.
Well, I'll tell you what, this has been amazing to watch, to say the least, to see how you've reacted to this game. And I reached out to Savvy a couple days ago after she beat the game. I was like, hey, you want to come on to talk about this? She's like, listen, I need some time. Savvy, I mean, you're right. It took you a day to recover, and you've seen some shit. And
I have. I looked into the abyss, and the abyss looked back, and what I saw was man-made horrors beyond comprehension. But I am here now, and I am healed.
Let's start with this, because I see you responded over on X, because Red Thread Games, the developer of this game, actually put out a statement just before we went live. I have yet to read this statement.
Oh, it's a spicy one.
Well, let's check it out. Let's see what they had to say. This is exciting. This is from the developers of Dustborn. It says, to our community, since we first announced Dustborn, we've read your comments and listened to your feedbacks, hopes, and wishes for the game. Over the past 4 years, our team has poured their hearts into telling a story that's deeply meaningful to us, a story about the power of words, about building a world where everyone can feel safe, about love, friendship, and robots, of course. We expected Dustborn to spark conversation and debate, and look forward to engaging with our players in a positive and constructive fashion. Unfortunately, that conversation has been drowned out by a tidal wave of hate and abuse. Oh, okay. We welcome thoughtful feedback and respectful criticism. We embrace discussion and debate, but we have zero tolerance for hate speech, harassment, and threats of any kind. To those who engage in such behavior will be removed from our community. To everyone else, thank you for coming on this journey with us. Your support means everything, and your constructive feedback continues to push us to learn and evolve. Together, let's continue building a world where everyone can feel valued and empowered to share their stories. Powerful, Savvy, powerful. I see a response to that, but how would you like, do you just want to verbalize?
We'll just jump in real fast. Notice how they say discourse and they want conversation, but they lock the thread?
Excellent point, Blabs. Excellent points.
You can't talk at all. You have to quote tweet it. That's it.
Yes, it is indeed locked down there in the bottom, which I think says a lot about.
That says a lot about what they actually
immediately
want. Yeah, that was an automatic
The other fascinating point to this is they act like this is the first time that they've ever written and released a game, when they had support from major studios, from Quantic Dream. They had I sat and watched the credits. That's how in depth I got. I watched the credits all the way through, the slow scroll, the slow agonizing scroll, to show me how many people had access to this over 4 years.
Wait, did you say Quantic Dream?
Yeah. I guess they were part of this or some shit, and then Ragnar Turn Kid, or whatever the hell his fucking name is, who people know that name. He has written games before that people enjoy, was the writer for this game, and 2 other people.
Wait, so Quantic Dream made fucking
yes,
Detroit Become Human and Heavy Rain.
Yep, that's why there's also a lot referenced from it.
The owner, the main guy in Quantic Dream, was like accused of like hosting Nazi imagery in his office.
Wait a second, Quantic Dream, aren't they the ones making that Star Wars Eclipse video game that's now dead also?
Yeah, David Cage was massive allegations of like hosting Nazi imagery and shit in his office. And like in the actual, why would they work on this game?
I have no idea. Why is this tax funded by 2 different governments under the guise?
I'm sorry, what? What?
Oh, yes. Under the guise of being a disinformation countering game for educational purposes, they submitted requests for funding to the American government through the embassy and received $250,000.
So my tax dollars that I have to pay every quarter because of YouTube went to go fund this fucking game when they could have fixed the bridges?
Yes. I'd also like to point out that an individual on the development team named Thea, no relation to the character Theo, frowns upon crowdfunding, calls it e-begging.
Oh,
would rather just force people to give them money.
Uh-huh. There's a couple countries that used to do that. They still do that to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Crowdfunding.
This has been an extremely interesting thing. And one thing I will take from this statement here is, and you see this all the time when it comes to companies like this or people like this online who say, we welcome thoughtful feedback and respectful criticism. We embrace discussion and debate, once again, while locking the thread. But we have zero tolerance for hate speech, harassment, and threats of any kind. There is a giant, like these people don't quite understand that there's a difference between criticism and harassment. You can criticize somebody without harassing. You can laugh at something without harassing. As a matter of fact, I got to be honest, just that statement triggers me. And I'm going to just throw that up there right now because that's just, I'm so triggered by this.
Did you really make a trigger? Oh, dude.
That's from the game. That's from Dustborn, by the way. Wait,
No.
Alex, hold on. You don't know yet.
All I know about is the fucking song.
Oh God.
Bless him.
Oh dear.
You sweet, untainted child, Alex, and that's a
Oh.
The
lot.
roles have reversed.
Yes,
How
how
roles-
pure.
Yes, you're still.
So
pure.
wait, who's on top? Blabs or Savvy?
Okay,
Is it International Women's Day? Is that what it is, Savvy? Is that what's going on?
Look, man, I'm a power bottom, all right? That's just how it goes.
Listen. The bottom is the one delivering the power. No, you would think that.
Look, man, my thighs.
Savvy has monster
Stamina.
thighs, okay?
all right. We gotta.
You want to do a thigh off? We'll do a thigh off.
Oh shit. Now that sounds spicy.
What do you put them
Oh
away?
God, he
Wow.
actually has muscle. I got my pants are too long to pull up. I would, but I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to embarrass you in front of everyone.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
True and real.
Okay,
Okay.
now I'm glad we were able to get through everyone's thigh thoughts, which was good, and power bottoms and all that stuff. But Savvy, you are here to talk about your experience with Dustborn, and
Correct, not thighs.
yes, I want to hear your thoughts on Dustborn. I want to go through and I want to treat this like it's a real review of the game. And you've given your overall thoughts on X many times. Let's start with just give everybody the TLDR, and then we'll dig into the specific categories. We'll do an overview, and then we'll talk about the graphics. We'll talk about the music. We'll talk about the fun factor of it, and treat it like it's an old 90s magazine here. Okay, so let's just your overall thoughts, and then you can give it a score between 1 and 10.
Okay. The TLDR is you are a punk rock band group that's traveling because you stole intel from a government facility, and now you have to go from basically California up to Maine in order to get to Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia, the land of the free there, bud. Free healthcare. But you get into some shenanigans along the way, and that's about as much of sense as I can make of the story without diving into specific instances.
So I think it's important to talk about is Alex has not heard some of the power-ups that you gain along the way.
How did you gain the information as a punk band?
We gotta prepare ourselves for this.
Okay.
So you get power-ups from ghost sperm that you collect via your Nintendo Switch, but it's a retro version, and you rip them out of people's minds because they represent disinformation, but you use the disinformation to then disinform other individuals. The glowing ghost sperm, however, attracts jellyfish tentacle monsters that do try to molest people, and you have to fight those off. Now, you might be thinking that's surely all the ghost sperm does, but it actually also, when convenient for the plot, interacts with the environment to open doors, move obstacles, or just collect random shit from cabinets because they couldn't be bothered to animate a cabinet pulling animation.
Bye, Alex.
He's out. He can still hear us, so I'll see how quickly he responds. You gain a lot of abilities here along the way.
Yes.
What are some of those abilities that you gain that are power-ups in Dustborn?
Well, you're
I'm ready for
introduced
this.
at
I'm ready
first
for
to the
this.
concept of these powers through triggering, which you use to make your best friend suicidal in a bathroom while cops are tearing down a vehicle in your garage for some reason. Yes. From there, when you finally do collect the ghost sperm about 4.5 hours into the game, you're taught how to sow discord into crowds. So discord is the first power-up, and I'm not too sure how it actually acts differently from trigger, but apparently you basically tell people, hey, this individual is lying and they're toxic and they're trying to control you and they want power. So you can turn an entire crowd against a very innocent ginger woman who refuses to wear shoes. Her name is Fred, by the way. She doesn't like people who are different from her because they lie. And it turns out the people different from her did lie. But you have to sow discord into a group. So that's how that happens.
Do they not realize the irony of what they're doing? Is it lost on them?
I don't know, but the next power-up that you get is hoax, and then bully. You have to bully the good Catholic boy who's having a crisis of faith in a moment that's very tense and stressful, and he doesn't want to do a bad thing that is objectively bad. He wants to be trustworthy to his employer, who is a good person. And at the end of the game, turns out they are a good person. But the protag can do no wrong. Pax, of course, always has to be right. So she bullies the good little Catholic boy to do what she wants, putting herself and her friends in danger.
There's cancel?
Yeah, there's cancel. You get cancel because you have to cancel people when you break into a government facility in the constant dust storm ridden area of Nebraska. For whatever reason, they're picking on Nebraska. You have to cancel the police, essentially. So first you cancel a dude who's just doing his job. He's just a doorman. He dies because a giant ape falls on him. We don't know why. And then you cancel the individuals attacking you by saying, you're all alone. And then they T-pose and run off the roof.
Yeah, that was a pretty good scene. I'm not going to lie. But you also, yes, go ahead, Alex.
I don't, they're literally taking the things. Like, were they trying to be ironic in doing okay, tell me that there's like a big joke, like it's like a self-imposed joke. Like, what if it's like,
you want the real joke?
Like, what if it's History of the World Part 2 and they're just doing like a whole bit, and the bit is, this is so ridiculous, like using bullying and canceling
that's what I
then
thought.
be the good guys, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the bit, right?
That's what I thought. I really did think that this was made by right-wingers who were making a game as if they were the left wing. But it actually gets funnier than this. They have, of course, pop culture references, and they had to prove how smart they were by reading books and referencing things. The book 1984 is put into the game, and you can collect this book, and later on you can give it to Theo. And when you gift the book to Theo, he says, look, I know I'm not usually in on all of your jokes, and I'm not too sure what this one's supposed to mean, but thanks, I guess. And he takes the book, and then he walks away because they couldn't even explain their own joke.
So I also saw a cutscene, Sav, where and I don't know. I'm sure that it's a pretty linear game. I would imagine there's not a whole lot of branching paths along the way. You just kind of go from spot to spot, right?
I tried. I tried to see if like you could explore different things. There's a lot. It's very, very just linear. Like you go here, you do this, you make this choice, and maybe you lose a character. But they force. The way, even the illusion of choice didn't make sense with the way that you got to the outcomes that could be changed, because it felt very abrupt. You can tell in the last hour of the game, they had no idea what to do because it's just a travel montage and people leave if they want.
Well, this has been, when you look at the overall reaction to this game, it has not gone very well. That I think what they tap out at 80 something players, which, going back to this thing from Red Thread Games, this statement over here, them saying that, they're talking about their community to everyone else. Yes, the dozens of people who picked up the game. Thank you for coming on the journey with us. your support means everything, and your constructive feedback continues to push us to learn and evolve. I actually feel you've done a very good job of asking questions to them and providing feedback to them. Have you heard from them at all?
No, and I don't expect to. I don't actually, and it's not even because they wouldn't want to engage with healthy criticism. I just genuinely don't think they actually have answers to my questions.
Well, one of the questions that hasn't been answered is why they went so diverse with their characters. I mean, we talked and laughed about the character models. Alex, have you seen all the characters associated with this game?
No. Does she have alopecia?
Yes.
She has the fetishized vitiligo.
Alopecia's hair.
Yeah.
Vitiligo, I believe is what.
My favorite one is
I'm sorry.
albino.
My chat calls me bald constantly, so I'm balding on the constant brain. Is why.
Yeah.
Vitiligo. Excuse me.
So we got the robot. We got this lady who Blabs, from what I understand, and this will be a spoiler review, isn't she a narc? Isn't she actually a narc that she kind of turns on him?
Yes. So actually, her story is nobody gives a shit about spoilers for this. So Sai is probably one of the most incredible checkbox characters that I have ever had the displeasure of dissecting. So for those who don't know, Paint Tool Sai is a very popular free art program that you can get. I don't even think it's free. I think I've always had it. Okay, I just outed myself. Paint Tool Sai is an art program that is very popular. And it's great because you can get a pocket version and people use it all the time. I used it way back in the day before I got into Clip Studio, right? Her name is Sai, spelt exactly the same way, S-A-I. Now, she is an overweight, Muslim, sex-obsessed individual. The sex obsession is important. She also has no idea what s'mores are, despite food being her entire shtick. Of course, they have dialogue because they eat hot dogs. You know, she's like, "Oh, is this kosher or whatever the proper word is?" I don't know. And then they have to specify these are turkey dogs, so you can eat them. Right. And then they make a bunch of dick sucking jokes because she sucks a lot of dick, which I didn't know was part of the Muslim faith, but I guess so.
So she can't have a hot dog, but she can suck a dick.
She can suck a lot of dick. Now, she is shown several times engaging in Muslim prayer, which I think is perfectly fine in and of itself. The most interesting thing, however, when it comes to interactions is we are prompted twice to interact with Theo, the good little Catholic boy, while he's praying. The first time you are actually encouraged to play a prank on him with your quarter sister. I call her quarter sister because she is a quarter for an eye. She's not displayed here. She's the adopted Asian sister of the protag, which is right here in the BAM shirt with the bat. That's Pax, the 4-month pregnant individual. Beside Pax is Gnome, who is a non-binary woman going by they, them, who is actually rich.
Wait, the albino?
Who's pregnant?
The main character is 4 months pregnant. And you don't learn that until 8.5 hours into the game if you don't read their promo box.
Wait a second. So the albino actually is a non-binary? I thought it was an albino with like a prosthetic.
No,
arm.
that is a woman who identifies as they, them.
Man, I really liked it. It was an albino. Whatever, mind.
Yeah, this is just Rufus Shinra reskinned as a very confused rich individual who doesn't know how to manage money. And apparently, and this is a plot point that was also really weird with Gnome.
Is Rufus Shinra reskinned?
Yeah, that's
nobody else got that besides me. Or remember that one episode of Cowboy Bebop where Faye was in the bar, she falls in love with the guy, but it's actually not a guy?
Oh yeah, I've seen that episode too.
Like that, yeah. That's that jawline reminded me of that. Like very not Spike, but very was it Clive? No. But
I know what you mean.
Specific jawline, yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, back to Sai. This is important. So apparently her vocal powers, everybody has different vocal powers. Her vocal powers, for whatever reason, turn her body to stone. So she's able to make her fists turn into rocks. Well, okay. Sai, being a sedentary individual and an artist who is obese, also happens to be the muscle of the group for some reason. And the game developers have never taken even high school levels of science because they don't understand how momentum works. She is shown capable of breaking down doors with 0 recoil. She's shown doing strong things and carrying a tire that blinds her for whatever reason, one of those giant like 18-wheeler truck tires for some reason, because she's the only one who can do it. They got a dude on the team, but he's just a hacker man. He is the hacker man known as 4chan. That's Theo with the goggles there. That's basically a Mexican version of Hassan Piker, or what Hassan Piker thinks he looks like.
Holy shit! Yes, true.
Yeah. Now,
holy
also
shit.
curiously, and I want to keep. So I got genuinely upset when it came to Mexican Hassan Piker, because he is written as such a good character. And I don't mean good like, oh, the writing was there, it was spot on. I mean, he's just genuinely the goodest of boys. He's there to hang out. He's there to be your dad and your boss, and he cares about everybody. And he just wants to do the right thing because he realized that the program that he was on wasn't doing the good shit anymore, right? So it's frustrating, because Thea, the developer, the developer, game designer, whoever behind this, has tweets stating, oh, I'm going to put knitting men in all your games and you're going to like it. So Theo knits in the game. So this is important for what I'm building up to. They were able to make a character who they believe is the idealized version of a man to them. They then, for no reason, as if this is a fucking modern SpongeBob episode, torture the shit out of him like he's Squidward. And there's no reason for it. Theo does quite literally nothing wrong. We have to force him to be bad and to deviate from good behavior through our manipulative powers by bullying him. Theo does not deserve how he is treated, and in the end of the game, he fucking gets Thanos snapped by by a child who is supposed to be the personification of binary truth. Which, by the way, the child has to die to a giant re-blast from your fucking unborn baby, giving the most ironic pro-life fucking message I've ever seen in my life. But Theo dies for no reason.
Sav,
on top of that, he's called the boss man, but you literally within 3 hours of the game supersede him, tell him he's wrong, and tell him that he's not actually in charge of things and that every choice is yours. So even though
sounds like they took an ex-boyfriend and they put him in there to like deal with their ex-boy after he dumped them and found somebody prettier.
Yeah.
Like, do you think in any way, Sav, that this game could be like thought of as, I use the term art, you see these paintings and they're like, what are you looking at really? Right? Are we going to look back on this game and be like, there was a lot of levels of context in here that I missed, and you're bringing up these things about, the baby and the destruction and I don't know, like, is this art so abstract that none of us in our stupid little pea brains can understand it? I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. That's all.
No, in fact, hang on.
She's got to yell at the developers.
I had to yell at my husband.
Shut up,
Yo, listen, that is a daily occurrence in this house. That's a daily occurrence in this house. All right. I get yelled at incessantly.
Do it the first time right, and we wouldn't have to yell.
Oh my God.
Don't even start. Don't even start.
Right.
Maybe give clear instructions and you won't have to ask twice.
Amen. Actually true. Very true. That's why I speak like a lawyer to my husband. Anyway.
Yes. So can this game be ever thought of as art? Like in 5 years, we're going to be like, Dustborn was better than we thought it was.
So because of the tax funding and the way that they got the tax funding, if you read the words that the government had to put down on the publicly available information, unfortunately, it actually stops being art based off of the way that they did this. It then becomes propaganda. If their goal was educational content to fight disinformation and the government funded it, that is now propaganda.
No, you're totally right, 100%. That is literally, if the government is funding it and they're approving it and they want that message being shown, that is literally propaganda from the government.
Say hi, babe.
Absolutely.
You're on stream.
What's up, babe?
Oh, the
puppy. There he is. Oh, I thought you were talking to the dog.
First ever stream appearance. Go ahead.
Let's go, babe. All right, babe. Sorry she went through all this. So I do think it's important. It's important. It's okay, Sav. It's okay. We love puppy dogs. I think it's important to really push home your expertise when it comes to Dustborn. I mean, you literally are not just the top 1% of players in this game. Alex, she's the top 0% of this game. Because in this game, it says you got like apparently there's slides that you get along the way, Sav, where you're rewarded with more comics. It looks like comic book, more story as you roll out. Is this correct? Like, walk me through what I'm seeing here.
These are like recaps at the end of every chapter of gameplay, and they tell you how many people also got the same level of interaction or did the same choice that you did. We've seen this before in other games. It's not a unique concept, but it is a fun concept. I actually really enjoy this. And so they obviously have all of the data collected because you got to, when you connect online through Steam, blah, blah, blah. So on the panel in the top right, it's actually not the most impressive thing in the world. I guess this character I didn't interact with. I didn't even see him. I was walking through. This is when you're in Chicago and you're trying to find a bar, but it's just a hallway simulator, so you don't actually have to find the bar, right? But I blow past this character. So Pax ignores Hawker. That's his name. There is no one else in the world who has played this game that ignored that character. This is important because I ignored this character. However, this character, for no reason, when we're trying to get away from the cops who chase us out of the bar, sacrifices himself and most likely dies because he does what's called going Nova. So we didn't have an interaction with this character, giving him zero motivation to save us later. He has no idea who we are, why we're in Chicago, what we're doing. We didn't interact with him. This is the illusion of choice. But they still needed the story to progress, so the MacGuffin had to MacGuffin and give us a way to get away from the cops.
You muted Craig, but I have a question about that little thing. Can you bring up the animation again, Craig? Who is the woman supposed to be? All right, right there. Is that actually like Kamala Harris?
So this was fucking wild. When we first walked into Chicago, there's graffiti people over there.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, they have Kamala propaganda, and the line that they have under there is enough. Now, this game was made they started making it 4 years ago. I have no idea how they could have predicted that because it looks like Kamala. It doesn't look like AOC. It doesn't look like anybody else who was a front runner woman for it. It wasn't Hillary Clinton. It's literally Kamala fucking Harris.
Maybe they just put it in at the last minute and they just changed whoever was there.
I have no idea. It's very possible.
That's
do you want to
wild.
lose your shit? Do you want to lose your shit?
Yeah,
Tinfoil moment.
Pull up Metal Gear Rising Senator speech. Make America great again.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
Well, we can Senator Armstrong.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then and then this game came out.
Well, yeah.
2013.
This is about 4.5 minutes long. But
no, there's only one spot. There's only one spot you want to see.
Okay, well, we'll look at that.
I'll find it for you. I'll find it for you.
It's also, Alex, important to point out that below the propaganda here in the left side, 0% of players made it to that panel. So,
No. I'm the only one who made that choice.
Okay.
I'm the only one who somehow managed to ignore this character. I'm the only person in the world.
Well, I know that sounds really impressive, but the reality of this is, Sav, is that only 83 people have played this game. Like the all-time equals 83. There are 32 people playing it right now. So
my 1% get would have just also been me. So
just you,
probably me and like a dev test.
All right. Well, I think
not even the devs got it. Not even the devs got this panel.
There you go, Sav. Okay, so give us a quick, we've talked about the game at length. We talked about the ups and downs. Give us like a score. Like if you were working at a major hardcore journalist outlet, video game journalist, and you were to score this game, Sav, on a scale of, let's go 0 to 10, right? What would you give this game?
I give it a 2. You can pet the dog multiple times while engaged in dialogue you really don't want to be engaged in. And there is a really based moment where the Asian cop jumps you and stabs you. And she says that the cop that she was working with is a good man, and if he dies, I'm a fucking hunt all you down, starting with you. So she doesn't know that he's actually dead yet, which he's not. He's actually perfectly fine. But that kind of passion for your partner, that really spoke to me. You know, it really spoke to me.
Good, Sav. Well,
That
thank you
is
for that.
one of the most insane things I've ever heard in a video game.
Yeah.
It gets worse. Like everything that I wish I could say and wish I had said when I first played it, just it gets, the more I think about it, just the worse that it gets. Like, okay, let me just paint another picture for you.
Do it.
Yes.
So you're going into this compound. You're to be reunited with your family because main character needs to main character, right? She wants to go see her mom's, plural. She wants to see her sister, who's adopted and an Asian, right? So you're going to this compound, and she described it as a cult in the woods. It's very much so Blair Witch meets every single cult that you've ever seen before. And your mother, one of them, the one who's still alive, is the leader. Now, like any cult, of course, cults gotta make money. And you're presented to people who worship a deity that's never brought up again. And like any cult, needs to make money. So what do? They grow opium. Opium, if you don't know, can make an individual docile. It can lead to controlling people more easily. It's very addictive. There's a lot of problems with that. It is also incredibly illegal. But the mother is presented as a morally righteous individual who can do no wrong and who should be the leader of these people. The individual questioning them is a girl named Fred, the barefoot queen who looks like a ginger version of Abby from The Last of Us 2. And Fred is not happy that an individual who is known to be able to manipulate people with their voice, she's not happy, obviously, that we've come back after 16 years after being sent away. Now, this morally righteous mother also lied to the half-sister, saying, well, she ran away, she left, she didn't want to be here anymore. But it turns out Pax was sent away for her own protection for some reason that's not entirely clear, because the cops have never found them before we show up. So Pax was sent away by the mother lied, the mother also grows opium, the mother runs the cult. Fred does not like any of this. Fred just wants them to go away. We cancel Fred. There's no love there. She needs to be reprogrammed. But then you learn the name of the other mom. And the name of the other mom,
Jeff,
is Rosa.
Okay.
Now, it took me a moment. Rosa Parks.
Yep.
Shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Hold on.
I got that instantly, actually.
Wait. Rosa Parks is the lesbian mother of.
They just used the name Rosa. But the obvious inspiration being that this place called Liberty, this place that is meant to be a safe haven for others, was started by two lesbian women, one of which named Rosa, for Rosa Parks.
Yeah, he looks like he's giving birth. Are you good, Alex?
I'm literally shitting my brain out from fucking having to hear that. That is the most on the nose fucking thing I've ever actually heard, besides when Quantic Dream did Detroit Become Human, and they did the whole like fist up thing and like in the back, like being in the back of the bus as an android thing. Like
now,
that.
I loved Detroit Become Human. Great art, fan art community thriving. So much good porn. All the characters were so attractive and fuckable, man. Like, I didn't think I could be attracted to androids, man.
That's my savvy.
Yeah. But then on the complete opposite hand, they got behind this game.
Yeah.
And it just leaves you so confused. Now, to continue painting a picture of this compound, when you have a discussion after Fred has been effectively canceled and had her life ruined, she's curled up in a chair. And the other mother, whose name eludes me, I forget it because she really wasn't important. She's sitting there in front of her talking and petting her and saying, oh, we don't abandon family. Even our chosen family is important. And for whatever reason, Pax has exposition information that she has no idea is true or not. So Fred was infected with one of the glowing sperm viruses that we had to extract from her head because it was disinformation, even though it was the truth. Pax is the one who says, everyone here lied to you. They don't deserve your forgiveness, especially not Fred. And that's when she says, oh, but family will help. And she's like, well, the damage is probably permanent. And she's like, we'll rehabilitate her.
There's a lot of, I think that's one of the main themes of the game, right? Is rehabilitation, all the negativity that's going on. And they're going to fix you. They're going to fix you good. Right. Yeah. Well, that's, we appreciate your bravery.
That is literally propaganda. The entire fucking thing is just propaganda.
The ending. So, like I said, it just gets worse. So the two factions of which you're fighting against, there's Justice, which was set up by JFK because this is an alternate timeline where instead of him dying, it's his wife.
Jackie dies? So wait, they have a woman die for a man? Interesting.
So in this alternate timeline,
she then becomes the martyr. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
JFK survives and his wife is shot, and then they say that he remarried to Marilyn Monroe, which of course everyone who actually knows a tiny bit of history knows how bad that is.
That's awful. That
did
makes
they not
so scummy.
read Wikipedia before even starting that?
This is about the extent of their knowledge. They're super excited. There's a scene where you're in a library and you have to extract an arm from an android. And the Asian character goes, man, it's like messing with Frankenstein. And Pax goes, you mean Frankenstein's monster? Look, they read the book. They know who actually is the monster and who isn't. Everybody clap.
That was worse than my Scandinavian joke.
Yeah, that's pretty good earlier.
But it gets even worse. Hold on. To continue to quote literature and to show how smart they are, there's a character who you meet who's actually a midget former soldier, a veteran who's also a demolition expert. He has a magic power, and of course, he used a shotgun to shoot Psy because it's okay to use shotguns to shoot people when you're fighting the fascists. So he shoots Psy in the stomach, but there's no blood, and so she's about to die, and then he comes out in this little midget in a pink flamingo shirt, which, by the way, pink flamingos mean that you're a swinger. I learned that the hard way when I wanted to put pink flamingos in the front yard. Yeah, that's the thing.
Is that what that means?
That is what that means. If you see a pink flamingo in someone's yard, that means that they're open to other couples coming over for
who decides this? Like, yes, obviously a flamingo must mean swinger.
So do
Is this like back in the 90s when you had like your right ear pierced? Is that what that means?
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. So you've got this midget with a PTSD plant who comes in, and his healing powers, he has magical MacGuffin healing powers that don't work when he needs them to, but they work other times to move the plot along. He has to activate the powers by speaking in rhyme poetry, but he hates rhyme poetry. And so I think it's the second poem that he actually does, I'm like, okay, there's no way that they wrote this themselves. I recognize this. I'm very poorly fucking read, mind you, but I knew that this wasn't by them. It turns out they're quoting Emily Dickinson. And so they quote a poem from Emily Dickinson where she essentially says, I have no time for hate. And so they quote these things. He follows up after doing this saying, man, I hate this shit. He hates the positive messaging.
From just as a side note, I imagine
not having.
On a side note, I just imagine this happening to Savvy one day.
I'm here for the gangbang.
So wait, you know what I want to do now, Savvy? I want to go back and watch all the old TV shows where like there were pink flamingos in the front yard and look at those like families and stuff like that. And, like maybe there was stuff I'm missing when I was a kid.
Do the meme like
Yeah, like
when you go back and catch all the adult references. Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yep. Yeah. So like I said, like I haven't even touched on the ending of the game too. The whole point of this was to build up to the Puritans. So there's two factions. So there's Justice, which was started by JFK in this alternate timeline because he didn't want anybody else to get assassinated. and then they turned totalitarian. But the other faction is the Mormons, because fuck the Mormons.
What do the Mormons have to do with anything?
Well, the Puritans come in and they're basically Tron ripoffs. So they have a bunch of really weird low poly androids that come and fight you. And the Puritans, which so they have access to a child. And this child is the embodiment of truth. And the individual who wants the USB stick for whatever reason says that she doesn't actually need the USB stick anymore in the ending, and that it was all a MacGuffin, but that the people employing PAX to bring the stolen information were no different than Justice or themselves, because everybody just wants to use words to control the people, which, really self-aware.
This is what I feel like. This is you describing this. Like,
yeah.
This picture is Savvy trying to describe this game with JFK. And
this is worse than my actual schizo board. All right. That's still up. It's still there. What was the other thing? Hang on. I was going to, shit. So in the mall scene, when you first get into the mall, I was very confused by this, but somebody educated me. So there is a giant statue of Jesus in the mall, and it is of a white man with blonde hair and blue eyes. He looks like a surfer bro. Apparently that's, I guess, what the Mormons think Jesus looks like. I don't know for sure if it is, whatever. But yeah. I personally had never seen it growing up in the South. I was just like, really? Like, nobody thinks Jesus is a white guy. Like, what the fuck? But it gets better. So you can go up to the statue and you can interact with the statue and push a big red button and it will read Bible verses to you. One of the Bible verses that they chose is talking about how if a man lays with an animal, both should be put to death. What do you think they meant by that?
I don't know, Savvy.
Furries?
Well, if they're claiming that the Puritans believe in blonde-haired Jesus, why, and we're fighting the Puritans, why do we take issue with that particular Bible verse? Why did that particular Bible verse make it in? They also have a Bible verse about divorce, about it's better to live in a corner of the house than something else. I don't remember exactly what the Bible verse was. And then there was another one from Leviticus, I think. There were 3 or 4 of them in total. But they were all unusual things. And keep in mind, they're putting these in here with the intent of making you believe that the Puritans are the bad guys and the Puritans believe in that statue and representation.
Are the developers zoophiles?
I think they might be. I don't know. It wouldn't put me past it. This is, oh man. So the picture that Thea, the developer, has on their Twitter. Oh, this is another good part. So this individual's Twitter username is Shitspout. That is the actual Twitter username of this individual. And
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Savvy.
No, it's fine. So Thea's username is Shitspout. Inside the game, there is graffiti on the wall that you can interact with, and it says justice is a bunch of shitspouts.
Yeah, literally a self-insert into the game. Like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, Savvy, you are.
I could go on for days about this.
Fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
You are stronger than literally 100% of people by going to. I mean, you're a 1%er in the game, and I don't know many people who have gone through and actually beat this game. So congratulations to you. Yes, you've done it. Congratulations. I will, I think we can kind of close this section and outside of thanking you for your bravery by letting you know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel here. We've seen the character designs here, but the wonderful person over at the Bugle Daily has actually gone and made Dustborn better for the normal man. And they've used AI to do so. And I think this game would have sold considerably better if with the character models along the way. So
what was that old cartoon with the rocker chicks? They were in Scooby-Doo.
Oh, Josie and the Pussycats?
Listen, that's what that photo reminded me of immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately that reminded me of that.
I still remember the fucking song, man. That was fire. That was the most girly thing I was into.
The Hex Girls. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah. Them
the
too.
Hex
Josie and the
Girls.
Pussycats just came up first.
Let me tell you, the Hex Girls were like the beginning of my goth mommy phase.
That was a good awakening for a lot of people.
And then another second awakening was Rhea Ripley. Have you seen Rhea Ripley, Craig?
I know Rhea Ripley. Yes, I do.
Blabs,
She's
have you seen
Australian.
Rhea Ripley?
Yeah, she's from.
That's
Australia.
mommy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh,
That's our-
boy.
I know lots of people you'll get along with.
All right. Let's close this out with Alex. You pulled up a speech. You said this from 2013. You said
2013.
2013. This is Senator Armstrong's political speech, and you said this was MAGA before MAGA, huh? Let's check it out.
Strongest will thrive, free to live as they see fit. They'll make America great again.
What the hell are you talking about?
So there you go. I'd like to remind everybody we have a brand new.
Have you played
hat
Metal Gear
available.
Solid 2?
No, I've not.
You've never played Metal Gear Solid 2?
Nope.
I beseech you, I implore you today, right? When you're done with this show, to look up. It's called The Final Speech in Metal Gear Solid 2. It is with a sentient AI called GW. And this was in the year 2000. It's like 8 minutes. Watch it alone and then think about what's going on today in the world with social media and what they say. There are specific things where they talk about like what is actually truth, whether it's your truth or the actual truth, where people sequester themselves to only have what they want to hear in their own little gated communities. It is not about creating context, not about creating content, but creating context. It is a mind fuck watching that 24 years later. You'll lose your shit.
Sounds good. That's great. Love to check it out. I got it pulled up. I have it pulled up ready to go. I'll watch it afterwards.
Oh, dude, you're gonna message me like, what the fuck did I just watch?
What the fuck? Yo, what the fuck? Savvy, do you want to stick around a little bit longer, or are you ready to bounce?
I could hang out if you'll have me. I don't care.
Sav, you're always welcome.
Ah.
Okay, well, because we're
Is
about
that
to
a
get
poppy? My wife started drinking those.
It's polar.
Oh, polar. Okay.
All right. Quick reminder, guys. Do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button if you guys are just tuning in. We've been live for a while, and you know who I feel most sad about that whole thing that we just witnessed with Savvy is not you, Sav. It's actually Blabs, because she's going to need to find a way to slice that down for a video on YouTube, and that's going to be. I'm looking at it. It's
all
like
of you. What you made me do.
Oh, sorry, Blabs. All right. Well, once again, we see all your super chats, all your Rumble rants, all your direct donations. We're going to get to those before the end of the show. We thank you guys very much. So we'll finish with this. We're not going to do Clown World this week. We're already running up against it. We'll get to that. But I do think
I'm
it's
so depressed.
Clown World.
Yes, honestly,
Yes,
you know
you are
what?
the Clown World.
We just honestly, we just need to
unbelievable.
play the little clip of it. Where is Clown World? Here it is. We just need to.
Clown. Clown.
And we are back from Clown World. There we are.
How many drugs did you do, Savvy, when you were playing that game or like finished it?
So on the the first day I did make a gin drink, and I started the stream high because it was the only reason why I did all this, it was all impromptu. Lavender had posted the clip of calling the cops racist, and I said, there's no way that this is real. And I sat there in my stoned little pea brain, and I was like, I have to experience this for myself now. I'm really going to do it. And then I saw the game was $30. And I'm like, fuck, man, I don't want to give them money, but it is government funded and I should. So I took the poll. People were interested. So in my stoned wisdom, I was like, fuck it, I'll just go live. The next day, I made sure that I was aptly stoned. And on the finale, I raw dogged it sober. And that's why I needed recovery.
Just make sure that's included in the video, Blabs. Just
Yep.
make sure.
Can you guys soundbite? I raw dogged it, and then put that on the soundboard.
Definitely. Definitely. Okay.
Like my throat hurts from
Yeah,
the
from all the
amount
raw
of shouting
dogging.
I did. Yeah, all the raw talking. I mean, I bent over and they took it dry, man.
You got all the blab shots you ever wanted.
There you go. Okay. If we can all recover from that, we will. Savvy, do you know who Darkside Phil is?
Oh shit.
Why am I seeing so much of this? Like I'm aware of the name and the acronym, but like, is this important? What is this? Like, what have I missed?
It's so good.
Okay.
I've been in hell, in case you haven't noticed. So whatever
Look up-
emails and weird hentai shit you're sharing with some dark side individual, I don't know, man.
No.
Look
Okay,
up DSP May 1st.
Let me just give you a little background. Okay.
I just want to die now.
Okay, let me just kind of give a little background here. Okay, so a month into our show, we had this guy Darkside Phil on our show, and he is a guy that, you know, this is not my first rodeo in the world of content creation. Been doing this for a long time. So back in the late aughts, early 2010s, I had a lot of friends, a lot of community members. I had this outlet, I ended up selling it, and Darkside Phil was a community member on this outlet called Screw Attack, right? And he eventually started doing YouTube videos and such. And long and short was we knew each other as I wouldn't say we were ever friends. I would say that we were acquaintances, right?
Colleagues.
Yeah, colleague in a time where YouTube was not as big as it is now, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't speak to him for like a decade. Right. It was one of those things where I think I saw him once and I was like, hey, how's it going? And I think I've met him once in real life. So I didn't talk to him for like a decade. And when Side Scrollers was starting up, I was reaching out to people, you know, that'd be like, hey, you want to come on the show? So I announced that about 2 weeks into the show, I was like, hey, this is who we have coming up on the show this month. And I announced that Darkside Phil was going to be on the show. Well, as soon as I announced that, it was like a nuclear bomb went off. Right? People were like, what the fuck? Darkside Phil's coming on your show. Holy shit. And I found out that he doesn't go on people's shows. Right. And over the past decade, there's been this entire lore that has been built around Darkside Phil. And there is a lot of things that people wanted to know about DSP. So when the original intention was just to have him on the show like we're doing now and talk about stuff,
So just slow down for 2 seconds.
Yes.
Why does it matter if he never appeared on or like appeared with anyone else? As a former Twitch streamer, like it's totally normal actually to not do anything with anyone. So why is that a big deal?
I don't know. I think people just had questions about him, and there was a lot of questions, and he never.
So it's like an Asmongold, like somebody to just unpack.
Right. So there was a lot to unpack with him. So while the original intention was to have him on and to just to have a regular show, it became painfully obvious that we needed to have like an interview and address some of these things that people wanted to know, because it was going to be like the big elephant in the room, right? The elephant in the room that like, hey, how come you didn't ask him about this? He never comes out and talks about these things. So we had him on and we spoke for 5 hours. Okay. And as far as peeling back the onion goes, we barely scratched the surface, right? With all the things that are around this lore around this guy. So anyways, that was 18 months ago. And then the next day we did like a debrief show where pretty much after that 5 hours was done. You're exhausted after 5 hours. Everyone was like, done. So we came back the next day and we talked about it. Apparently Phil got really upset that we talked about it the next day without him being there, right? And then he just got really mad, right? Really, really mad. And I tried to reach out a few times, be like, hey man, I understand you're upset. That's fine. Let's bury the hatchet. If you want to do part 2, I'll come on your show and we can figure it out, right? And there were other things that apparently he was upset about, but like as far as money that was Superchats and stuff that came in and he didn't make any money. That's all. I don't know, right? That's just things that I've heard. So anyways, with all that said, Brian, with me and Side Scrollers for about 18 months.
You're a bit underwater right now.
Okay, then let
Yeah,
me.
I missed that. Just that last sentence that you said.
Yeah, I
What?
missed that part. Yeah.
So he's really had an axe to grind with side scrollers for the better part of like 18 months. Okay, and apparently we're brought up all the time on his streams and stuff. It is what it is. And like I said, I've reached out to him a couple times to see if he wanted to, like, just get through it, because I'm a big fan of just talking through things.
Oh.
And he's either not replied or just not. I don't think he's responded once. So with that said, I received an email yesterday or 2 days ago, whatever it was. I checked my email yesterday to the Side Scrollers podcast email, and it was from Darkside Phil. Now,
People still send emails?
Yeah, who does that? Just use Twitter.
it's really funny you mention that, because that's one of the criticisms about Phil, is that he uses email instead of how many is that? How many is that?
That's 110,437, and no, that's not spam.
Why don't
That's
you just
between
mark it as read or
emails.
delete? Why would you do that?
Why? Just. I don't like a notification on my phone. Why do you do this?
New high score every day.
Okay.
And so that way I can remind the world when people say, like, my favorite is when my dad says, "Hey, I sent you an email," and it'd be like, "Oh yeah, here's my new notification count. Which one is it?" And then he's
That's mean, though. Your dad emails you, you
horrifying.
respond.
Don't feel bad for him. He's the reason why I am the way I am. All right. When he taught me how to play tennis, he said always aim for the nuts. All right. So don't feel bad for him.
He's right, though.
He's
yeah,
right.
exactly.
He's
See,
right.
so don't feel bad for him.
I do. Respond to your father.
Well, we talk. It's fine. Anyway.
Okay. All right.
Go on. Yeah. So you got an email from this individual. It's also a quick side thing. Is Darkside Phil the same person who gets memed on all the time?
Yes.
Saying, "Oh,
Yes.
he outlived something else or someone
Yes.
else."
Yes.
Okay.
So there's the baseline for everything, right? And for us, it was a show, and it's like a chapter of the life of side scrollers as we continue to grow, right? And so Phil was on another show recently. I don't know a whole lot about it. I hear about, I don't have a whole lot of time to watch other people's content, but he was on another show, and apparently they were pretty nice to him, and that's fine. And he was like, finally, I get a chance to be myself. And this has started like almost a redemption arc for Phil, because he's always been this lol cow, right?
Well,
and
He was on Kino Casino. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I like I said, I haven't watched much of their show. I've seen like a couple clips here and there, but apparently the show's pretty good.
Part too.
Yes, he and that's the May 1st burst that you were talking about, Alex. Is he's most known for for whacking it when it can't. He didn't know the camera was on when he was
why
whacking.
the Reddit thing is titled "The Burst of May 1st."
Yes. Okay. So with all that said, he's on kind of a redemption arc with it's Kino Casino. Is that correct?
Yes, he was.
And like, to be clear, that's awesome. Like, at no point I've ever wanted to bury Phil or make money off his misery or anything like that, right? It was just a show that we did, and it's now become a part of this lore. But after he was on this show, he went out, and I saw this, and I legitimately laughed when I saw this. So this is before the email that I received here. So this is what he said.
So now that I've actually had a fair chance to appear on a show, I'd like to tell Craig and the side scrollers, go fuck yourselves, you disingenuous pieces of human fucking shit. I hope you fucking flush yourselves down a toilet and never climb the fuck out of the sewer that you live in with your drama politics show that no one gives two fucks about. All right? Why don't you go fucking suck on Melody Mac or whatever the fuck the new hot topic is today with your bullshit drama? No one gives a fuck about you and you'll never be relevant. Now fucking choke on it.
Look, listen. Like, remember we talked about last time, give me a short brunette with winged eyeliner and I'm there?
Mm-hmm. That's Melanie Mac.
Back on that list. I'll twist her into a goddamn pretzel.
Oh, Lord. All right. Well, I'll let Melanie know. Thank you, Alex.
I'm married, don't.
No, I will not let her know. So with that said, Phil has a lot of thoughts about us, and he doesn't like our show. And he's made that very clear in that 39-second clip.
A little bit, yeah.
Brilliant. Which leads us to 1 day ago. Now, to be clear, I emailed him January 22nd. And in that email...
This year.
right? And I will read that email verbatim right now because I want to be clear as to the communication that's happening. I said, hey, Phil, I know you're still pissed at us, presumably mostly at Adam. Now, Adam was he was helping during the interview at the time, and Adam served as
destroyer.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job in the interview in that he listened as an impartial person who didn't know a whole lot about Phil, and he just called his shit out, right? Now, Adam had some harsh things to say the next day as far as him being like, he thought that, I don't even remember what he said, but he was very honest about his thoughts on Phil, right? So anyways, my perception is that he's always been pissed at us, mainly because of the things that Adam said. Okay, so I said, I know you're still pissed at us, presumably mostly at Adam, but I want to be very clear. I never wanted to make money off your misery, and that's a direct quote from him. I cannot reinforce that enough. You may think otherwise, but that's not true. I said, I'm reaching out to you because we're doing a big 12-hour stream on February 15th to celebrate moving into year 2 of the show, which was our birthday. I said, any interest in popping on for a few minutes during that day? No obligation to stay or for any amount of time. Just show up, say hi, chat for a bit, and bounce when you're ready. Adam isn't available that day, so you don't have to worry. So you won't have to deal with him at all. We also certainly don't have to announce anything. This is super casual. And I gave him the times that we're live, and I said, can I send you the link that day, and you can just show up. So that was January 22nd. Okay, August 29th. So yesterday at 4:34 in the morning, he sent me an email in response to that.
7 months later?
Yeah, so 7 months later.
How did he keep the email? Like he knew you said, he read the email, obviously. He's been sitting on it for 7 months and then decided to reply?
Yeah.
Now you guys know why I don't delete mine.
Now, look, I'm not going to read the email because I'm only going to read what I sent to him, right? But what he sent to me is whatever. But the point is that he has asked me to come on his show. And I am considering it, but I will say this. He drives a hard bargain with such kind words like this, right? So I will like actually to ask you guys, based off of what you see and based off of what I've said in chat, this is for you as well. Should I go on the Dark Side Phil podcast and have this one-on-one? Because my thought is that I should, because I have invited him on the show again, and I said that I will appear on his show as well to kind of finish it up. And honestly, like, I wouldn't be doing it for me. I feel like I'd be doing it more for him because this is something that he's clinging onto. Very much so. He's very much held on to this for 18 months, and he very clearly has a lot in his chest. And if he wants to yell at me for an hour, that's fine. I'm totally okay with that.
Is his only channel DSP Gaming?
Yes.
Okay, so that's his only YouTube channel.
And
I think so.
Another one like DSP Throwback as well, or something like that.
I don't know.
Okay. The reason why I ask is because I think it's important.
Mm-hmm.
Judging from his viewership and the steady decline of it, I would assume he is attempting to generate relevancy. And he knows lolcow, drama, and yelling does very well because it would appear like he's taken a play out of Keemstar's book or something. Because I guess he appeared
was on the show
that
a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's appeared on that, and his live stream where DSPX Keem go live, 28,000 views. His previous one was 7,000 views. The one before that, 8, 7, 12, 8, 9, 16, 11, 22. But 22 was talking about drama.
Right.
I don't know anything about this individual. All I know is that now all of a sudden he's trying to invite people because Kirsha made a tweet saying that I've been tagged a lot because he's willing to have VTubers on.
Mm-hmm.
He's not doing this because I think he genuinely cares. He's doing this because he needs relevancy. He needs views. 700 views on a video is not that it looks like these are edits, even if they're just clips. That's not paying any bills. And it doesn't appear like he has any other source of revenue. Yeah.
Well, I think that what he's trying to do is he's trying to pivot, right? He's been doing the same thing literally for 15 years, right?
Pivot.
And yeah, right. Pivot. I think that's what he's trying to do with this content. Alex, what are your thoughts on this? Because you're more familiar with DSP than Sav, obviously.
I feel like he finally grew a pair of balls after being on Kino Casino is what happened. I think what happened is he was on Kino Casino.
Mm-hmm.
They propped him up. You know, he finally has a viewer base that's there, that like hit all his like tips, goals, and shit like that he has every day. He finally got himself a pair of balls, and now he's like, well, now it's time to get after him. I know that like there was a thing with Duty Streams, like this other guy who was clipping his content.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Duty was definitely pushing the limits of fair use quite a bit, honestly, as a content creator. I know that Duty Streams got demonetized because of that. But that's what it feels like. I feel like if Phil does not navigate this correctly, this could all blow up in his face.
You obviously know more about and I want to be clear, like it was an episode that we did. It was a thing that we did, and we kind of, it was a thing for, I don't know, Blab, some 3 weeks, a month that we heard about pretty consistently. And then it just kind of trickled out to just a thing. Like I said, as a chapter of the life of side scrollers, right? We've done how many shows? Almost 400 shows here. And it was a show. Well, I guess technically like 2 shows that we've done, because we did the recap afterwards of the decompression stream afterwards. So, it was a small part of our history, but more than anything, I feel like I should do it mainly because I have invited him on the show again. And I've said that I'd appear on his stuff just to close it out. But like I said, not for me, mainly just because it's very obvious that he has hurt feelings towards this. So,
I'm someone who believes in second chances for a lot of people, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And so if Phil's on a redemption arc, let him get a redemption arc. It's been 15 fucking years, right? Like, it's not a big deal. It's all about what he does with that redemption arc now is the real question, right? So you being on a show is not going to negatively impact you whatsoever, right? And it's not going to, like, your viewers aren't going to stop watching you because you went on a show.
Yeah.
You're not going to have my community is very different from your community, but my community didn't just be like, oh, you want to ask close, you're not going to watch it. Like, they're not going to do that, right? They're going to come in and be like, foot. Like, they're fucking psychos. But like, it's collabing is never a bad thing, right? Maybe some of your viewers like DSP later on because of it, or maybe some of his viewers like you because of it. Like, it's not going to, unless you guys get into a screaming match about dumb bullshit and you.
Well, that would make so much money, though.
Drop a couple slurs, like, you're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, and okay. that's not gonna happen for me.
That would make a ton of money. That would make a ton of money, though.
Right. People saying read the email. No, I'm not gonna read a private email. Right. I'm not gonna read
Listen, no DM is private. No DM is private. I'm sorry.
Right. But an email
whatever you DM somebody, whatever you DM somebody, it better be whatever you're okay with showing other people.
I'll say this. If I go on the show. If I go on his show and we talk it out, which like I said, I'm cool with. I'm a grown-ass adult. I'm all about conversation. I want to make sure that our email correspondence is shared, though, right? Because the emails that we've had back and forth, I have no idea how he could read them as, it's got to be one of those things where tone is lost in text, where you read them a certain way and you're looking at it, you're like, you can't believe he said that, right? So anyways, well, I will email DSP back, and it's like, I see this from Winterfell. It says, go on to DSP. You don't owe it to him. You owe it to this channel. Round 2. He was civil with Keem. I suspect he'll be civil with you.
Do he and Keem have a negative relationship before this?
So they did.
Okay.
They did. And apparently I have not watched the stream. I saw maybe 5 minutes of it. I haven't watched the whole thing in its entirety, but apparently he was cordial to him, which, as I would expect, I would think he should be. So yeah, there we go. It's like, corner me for what? Like, that's the thing I don't understand. Like, I have nothing to hide. I don't understand, but
yeah,
anyway.
It just kind of comes down to how you want to spend your time.
Yeah.
And so like, I mean, at the end of the day, you can then go on here and talk about the conversation the following day. So it doesn't really matter, and it gives you something else to talk about.
But will he be upset? And that's the thing,
who
right?
cares?
Like, well, that's why he's pissed at us now, because we talked about things the next day and he wasn't there.
If he's
right?
if he's upset with you afterwards, just be honest and tell him what you're going to say anyway, so it doesn't give a shit. And anyways, like in my opinion, right, if somebody's mad about what you say, fuck them, because are you really going to see them in real life ever?
Yeah.
Like, do they really matter to you? Are you going to punch your pillow while you cry every night before you go to bed? No. So fuck off. Like, just say whatever you want.
All right. Well, I'll give it a little bit here, and I'll think maybe we'll do like an hour or something like that. And but I'll email him back. Like I said, I've nothing to hide. I'm not scared of anything, and I'm fine with all my actions. So, with that said, we do have some support here from Hill Dragon. Says Kino Casino and Keemstar have been sucking up to him, which has inflated his ego. He's become insufferable to watch. Don't know. I don't watch his stuff. Joey says DSP is the typical locale of the internet. He's willing to do anything to create controversy in order to gain relevancy. I can only think of 2 other examples of content creators who also do this. Zach says, Craig, go on DSP's show dressed as Adam. It would destroy him.
I'm telling
Dean,
you, get a shirt with his cum face on it, where he's like nutting. He's like, oh,
no.
Just wear it.
That would
He's
probably
like,
not
just give me a hard time.
Probably not go very well, right? Dean says, yeah, Phil's trying to grab onto people desperately because Keem was glazing him on his podcast. He's trying to do Maximilian Dude too. We'll see how that is. So yeah, this is it's interesting to say the least. So, all right. Well, look, we got a lot of super chats, a lot of direct donations, and a lot of people buying merchandise, including the brand new, yes, troll worthy Make Gaming Great Again hat available right now. Link is in the description. Also, go pick up those other shirts, man. They are sharp and sexy. They make you look good. Go pick it up. Link is in the description down below. Appreciate you guys and your support. We'll read all that stuff in just a second. We'll be live for 2 hours and 16 minutes now after Savvy's intense review of Dustborn. So I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to bounce. So with that said, before we get to our super chats, Alex, please tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me at youtube.com/ohnoitsalex. My Twitter account is suspended for a week because I told Denuvo to KYS because I don't like their software program, because they said that Denuvo does not slow down their PCs as a meme. And so I use Low Tier God as a meme to tell them to love themselves now. And I'll be back in a week on Twitter. But I stream every Saturday. I also do daily content as well. It's usually related about video games and PC gaming. And check me out there. We're about at 74K subs.
Let's go. Good for you. Excellent.
There.
Let's go. Good stuff. All right. Sav, please tell everybody where they can find you and your Dustborn queen goodness.
Did you just say dust porn?
Yes. Well, I think that's the next
Dustborn.
channel you're offering is Dustborn.
Hell yeah. You can find me on Twitter and YouTube at Madam Savvy. I'm totally going to definitely launch a video finally for celebrating almost 10K subscribers on YouTube. So that grew really
there it
fast.
is.
Yay.
Look at you,
And
stud.
I don't have anything else. I'm gonna type some more words later. That's a cool thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm still in recovery mode. This is my first appearance on a live stream since it happened.
Let's go. Hey, well, Sav, appreciate you hopping on with us. Alex, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to get you two together and see what chaos ensues. So, guys, go check out Alex. Go check out Sav. Links are in the description. You guys are both great. And Alex, do you have your foot laying around?
Yeah, it's in my bag.
What is
His bag of goodies.
Your bag? Do you travel with it?
His duffel bag of toys.
How insane is that?
Somebody also sent me a like last week. Somebody sent me a pocket pussy, but it was in.
Wait, hold the foot up, just out of curiosity.
Blue
Hang on,
Mountain
I need to
State.
see. All right, here we go, chat. You see
No,
that?
no, Savvy, no,
You
Savvy.
see that toe slope? That is inferior.
Well, time for Savvy to go right there. And appreciate you popping in. Savvy, have a great rest of your day.
Bye-bye.
Bye, have a good one.
See you, Alex. Have a good day, guys.
Thanks, Alex.
Oh my gosh, that's the joy of bringing them on together. It's just making some magic. It's awesome stuff. All right, we got a lot of super chats, guys, and thank you very much for each one of them. I would like to encourage everybody as a Labor Day treat. Coming up on Monday, we will be live on Monday at 11 a.m. Central Time. But I encourage everyone to head over to sidescrollerspodcast.com if you want to support the show. If you like what we have going on a day-to-day basis, head over there, become a supporter over there. It's free to sign up, but if you want to support the show, you get access to exclusive content. We got some great stuff on the way. Use promo code TRIAL, get a free month, and support us along the way. We really appreciate that. All right, Blaz, what do we got?
Okay, overall and local, Spoon Ninja for $1 says, sex scrollers for all your porn news. Then there's Conan picture that says, "Does someone say my name?" No. Rob sent a $5 tip with DSP fapping himself. Thank you so much. And says it was a different kind of active shooter.
Jesus Christ. Funny. It's funny. That was a legit laugh from Sav. That was awesome.
I'm not savvy. You're swapping us up today.
I'm sorry, Blabsy.
Oh my god, because it just keeps repeating itself as I'm trying to move on from it. I'm just gonna cover half my monitor. Okay. Spoon Ninja also sent a $1 tip saying, "Wow, Savvy played Dustborn because of drugs. Best anti-drug message ever." Okay. Absolutely Rudy says, "Absolute bangers today, Blabs. Ignore Craig. I usually do." Josh says, "Can Alex talk more about making ropes?" No.
No.
Demi says, "I'm here most days. Some of us the gens are regulars." Yes. Crimson says, "Blabs shots." Shut up, Crimson. St. G says, "Next bucket hat the word come." Oh god. Demi says, "I'm going to see Terry 3 in October." Rin says, "That's why jiggle physics and fan service matters." Sire says, "Oh my god, look at this avatar. Jesus Christ. Alex, Savvy, and Kershaw, we need our golden sounding trio." No, Alex, take off the wig. Brendan says, "Dustborn was directed by veteran game developer Ragnar Tornquist, who made one of the best adventure games 20 years ago, Longest Journey."
Well, he didn't have a good sequel to that. He did. So there we go.
Javi says, "Savvy, once again, thank you for your service."
Thanks, Javi.
Brendan says, The Red Games crowdfund their first 2 games."
Really? Huh.
Noah says, "Remember when the MC used her empathy to make 2 cops delete each other?" I remember. Hillside scrolls and yes. Thanks, Noah.
Yeah, the main character was stupid.
Master Gawa says, "Hey, Savvy, I started watching you playing Dustborn. It was the wrong kind of female suffering. Could not..." Also, someone made sensor bars for Mad Islands on Steam's workshop. Please buy the game now. Master Gawa, there's nothing wrong with you. Benjamin says, "Fred, best girl." Jason says, "I know YouTube has rules against self-harm, but it's not like going to stream Star Wars Outlaws." Sir Cool, it should be noted you're insulting to the Catholic boy and can't be respectful, but deeply respectful of the fat, I can't even say the word ever, but Islam's prayer part. Yeah, I noticed that. Rin Soul says, "It's like they made a game where you're a villain."
Yeah.
Mr. Melancholy says, "I salute Savvy and Vara for playing this garbage so others don't have to. Much respect." Demi says, "Savvy, you think the sailing the 7 seas for Sai is outing yourself? How about sailing for ZBrush, Maya, and Houdini? Gotta step up your piracy game, girl." Spawn Freak says, "Tell Alex about JFK. Yeah, he's up to date now." Hypnotic says, "Concord Dustbin failure increased PS5 prices." Yeah, pretty rough shit. Absolutely Rudy says, "Did no one yeet herself like 50% of that kind?" Anonymous Gamer says, "The thing is the exact opposite of hello." Uriah says, "If they're the old Star Wars series, they would have been Siths." Thank you. Devin says, "Unborn baby beam. What is this? A Kojima game?"
Right. The more she spoke about it, the more layers. Like it just seems so insane to hear. Anyways, yeah, I'm sorry. Continue.
Benjamin says, "Albino Alana Pierce, Aquafina, and Kath punching bag." That's funny. Calm says, "What's sick is that this game will get recognized at the Game Awards. Looks like a real Game Awards has its saggy nominee."
Shitty ass game of the years. Let's go, Calm. Good to see you, buddy. Always a pleasure.
Benjamin says, "I'll do you one better. MGS2, the convo about memes." Mercenary says, "That wasn't predicted. That was planned with Kamala." Rolando says, "Sav should have given it the Billy Madison score."
Right. What
Magnum says,
Right.
Savvy gives it 2 feet passion for her partner. Absolutely Rudy says, it's scary how Kojima predicted the rise of social media and behavioral habits when he wrote MGS2 in 1998. Then he predicted the rise of MAGA in MGSR. Thank you. Mysterious. Can't fish. Anyway, man, and here I thought that Marilyn Monroe being the main villain was the craziest thing in this game, and there's this whammy. Mind change, game of the year. Magnum North says, aye, mothers who supply the womb with heroin are victims. They don't do no wrong, lol. Cole says, well, thanks, Savvy. I just learned a lot about several of my neighbors. Oh my god, they're all swingers. Matthew says, just hearing the plot of this game is giving me a genetic virus. It starts with C and ends with an answer. Alan says, we missed the fact that Garbage Pail Kids movie turned 37 years old last week. Feel old yet sad. By the way, I live one house down from where Marilyn Monroe was a kid. Don't box me, bro. Okay, Alan. Look at boxes. Just remember, folks, Dustborn was written by humans.
Yep.
Mercenary says, those pink flamingos on TV was predictive program. Alan says, I wonder how many pink flamingos are in front of Nicogatus. Oh gosh, okay. Mercenary says, get Savvy and Kersha together with this. We need it. Magnum says, Craig knows. I know that none of this nonsense was at a roller skate rink. We had Mortal Kombat arcade and stupid people slipping on the dance floor. Let's bring the 90s back, bro. Masagawa, since Blabs was curious, Hitler is a bad game. Lame action sections, no choices, and it's very vanilla. Should have been fun playing a villain doing evil, but lots of dialogue trying to humanize him. Oh, well, thank you for letting me know. Mysterious. No, him again says, Zoofiles, there's laughing total biscuit emoji times 50. Dave says, hail piss hand Savvy from saving us from the horror of Dustborn. Mastagawa says, Senator Armstrong isn't wrong. Play the whole clip. Thank you. Demi says, do any of the devs have a Zeta on their profiles, Savvy? If they do, Craig, get the flamethrower, the heavy flamethrower. This little light of mine, I'm going to make it shine. Alan says, Sons of Liberty was a prophecy. Lord Slosh says, be safe this weekend, normal men. Don't catch any pooey-sooey case like Vince, and don't play Dustborn. Instead, touch grass. Touch love.
Thanks, Lord Slosh.
Jam says, I'm half convinced Dustborn is actually detailed warning disguised as a product of very warped ideology want the public to be aware of. A Miner says, ha 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 ha, lesbian Rosa Parks with the punk. Thanks, Miner. TLR says, if you talk about DSP with him being there, is not going to be fair because he can't defend himself, but he will talk about you all day. Raffle says, Phil will try to talk down to you like an angry dad at a child. He tried this with the owners of Kiwi Farms and was totally shut down and put in his place. You have nothing to worry about. Demi says, go on DSP, but bring a bag of grass in case he tries some BS. His species is allergic to touching it. Dragon says, DSP's grievance is justified from his view. Go talk to the king. Build bridges over swamps. Nathan says, that interview he did with DSP is legendary in the detractor community, much to his annoyance. DSP has also the fragilest ego I've ever seen in human. Vork says, Craig, I'd love to see Max on this as you both talk about Street Fighter Collection announce.
Yeah, I would love to have Max on as well.
Stillborn says, DSP is like Cyrex and King Cobra at JFS, panic mode clinging to little relevance and pity bucks. Dean says, someone has threatened to sue Phil and he was trying to deflect it in a video the other day, saying everyone will support him if they go through it. The lawyers will bring all this dirty laundry out.
You know, the thing about it is I mean this, and I said this on other shows, I don't care. Like, I don't watch Phil. I don't know a whole lot about him, right? I just know what I researched back in the day, and that's it. So, and the interactions that we've had back and forth. Outside of that, I don't know anything else about his lore. I have not followed it over the last year. I really don't know, and honestly, I don't really care.
And Demi says, Furry 2 is a better corn on the hat or rhyme. Thanks, Demi. We're caught up on the tubes.
All right. I have put in my calendar. Thursday, I will be on Phil's show. So there we go. I think that's right. I think that's what's going to happen. Is Thursday I'll be on the show for 90 minutes. So we'll see how it goes. I've emailed him back. I said, let's do Thursday. So there we are. We've got some great support, some direct donations, including Cryptwolf says, I'm not a huge guy, but I like hats for my hats. Hey, speaking of hats, he picked up the MGGA hat right there. Staring at your face. At your face. Mercenary says, wow, this game sounds so good. So pornographic, so Japanese. How do you mess that up? In all seriousness, how nuts and insane do these devs are the devs and the people funding this? Also, I have to say this here. YouTube won't let me ask or say Dustborn. Really? That's funny. Proctophile says, good God, Sav, your description was so funny. I almost threw up laughing. Sorry, Craig, but I'll be one of the five. I'll be one of the 5 people that own the collector's edition of Dustborn later today. I can hardly wait to step into the madness. This is going to be fun. Well, good luck. Abdulio came and says, for more prophetic games, look into Deus Ex for a PC game from 2000. A year before Metal Gear Solid 2, also features many parallels with our current situation, present day. Mr. Fisto came in and picked up the MGGA hat right there. Go get it. Link is in the description. Appreciate that. So did Max Drummer, who said nice. And Dashi Man also picked one up. Says, can't wait to see how some of my coworkers react to this hat. Let's go. Handsome Tom came in and says, Craig, you're one of the most disingenuous piece of shit online. You kickstarted side scrollers by pressing DSP, then proceeded to softball everyone else, ignoring the detractors, notably Nick Ricada, the swinging child neglecting cokehead who you filleted. Well, thank you, Handsome Tom. Appreciate that. Balding Craig came in, says, at one point, side scrollers needed viewership and needed DSP for views. Now that you're bigger, you're too good for a one-on-one interview, which you promised before the gang jumping him. Rules for me, not for thee. Well, Balding Craig, I just said that we're doing it live on Thursday. So there we go. Appreciate your support and your money. With that said, Almond John says, just checked out the PSN store. Dustborn is on it as 4 to 5 star ratings. How can this be? The developers. Ree came in and says, does Alex partake in the same activities Jim Cornette has with his wife and other men? Also, where was he in the hot, sweltering summer of 1992? Easy, Ree. Saint says, Craig, I believe the numbers of pre-orders you looked at is physical copies. Yes, that is correct, Saint. Bronsonite says, Savvy looked into the abyss and it was a gaping butthole. Therapy dogs for Savvy. Bronsonite says, Dustborn is the government cheese of games, just as toxic too. Mighty Megatron came and says, Dustborn sounds like a whole lot of commie gobbledygook. That's right. Reese says, regardless of how retarded I think DSP is, he was a G1 and probably looked up to you and thought fondly of you. You brought on It's a Gundam, who's been feuding with him, and that left a big, bitter impression. Okay. Well, actually, we didn't bring It's a Gundam on. We just had a sound clip from him. That's it. Tooney says, before you decide to go on DSP's show, reply back with including his FU side-scrollers video and ask him if he stands by that. Sounds like he's trying to stop the bleeding viewership. Well, like I said, people say things and it is what it is, but I honestly don't really care. It is what it is. So, and Eden says, did no one mention upside down pineapple in shopping cart means that you're a swinger? No, I don't think anybody mentioned that. And thanks for that, Eden. Appreciate your clarity there. So, all right, let us wrap it up, guys. Appreciate everybody popping in today. Great show with Sav and obviously Alex, 2 dynamic personalities. Make sure you guys go check out their channels as well. Speaking of dynamic personalities, go subscribe to Blabs' channel. Her link is down below in the description. I want you guys to have a great weekend. Get outside, touch some grass, and then on Monday, get back here at 11 a.m. Central Time. So with that said, guys, have a great rest of your weekend. And remember, people going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go fucking get it. See you guys later. Have a great day. See you Monday. Bye-bye.